this
Also
time.
remember, don't
No
say
Twitch,
R
I
word.
don't want to use my free trial for Candy Crush. That seems very stupid.
Free trial. Free trial. The game is free. My gamers.
Guys, don't you want
The
to play
free trial is
play
playing the
Candy
game
Crush?
and losing your fucking soul. Because it's Candy Crush. Hi, everyone.
And a
Hello.
Taco Bell ad. Very nice.
I should have fixed up a lot of the overlay before we started today, too. So, I realized that the alert box wasn't up last time, and so it is up now.
I'd ask your opinion, Dominic, but I feel like that might be cheating.
What's up?
About if I should get rid of spell refueling ring and replace it with something else or not.
Well, I mean, okay, so what does the spell refueling ring do exactly?
Here,
I'm gonna look it up really quick, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get there fast enough.
Well, I have it written down. While wearing this ring, the wearer can recover one expended spell slot as an action. The recovered slot can only be of 3rd level or lower. Once used, the ring can't be used again until the next dawn.
That's a pretty dang good ring. It's a pretty good ring.
Yeah, but it does need to be an action. Like, it can't like, have to use a whole turn in order to...
True, but it does leave your bonus action and your movement action totally up. So if you run out of spell slots, you can duck out of danger or, just skedoodle and get one of your spell slots
but
back.
at 3rd level or lower, like, what's the most powerful 3rd level spell I have?
And remember,
I don't
power
have
isn't
any
measured
offensive
directly by
spells.
damage. Power is measured by versatility,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well,
Put away your fireballs and your wall of fire and your sleet storm.
Let me continue instead of talking over me, stink butt.
I'm trying to fucking... Well, I was gonna make a point about, like, I don't know, Major Illusion, or... I think Major Illusion.
I was going to try and say, I do have Revivify, which is a 3rd level spell.
See, there you go. Revivify is great. And it's Major Image, not Major Illusion. And it is a 3rd level spell, too. God, I love illusion magic. Give me all the illusion magic. And also, illusion wizards just get the short end of the stick on class abilities. Evocation wizards. Yeah, I can just choose not to hit my friends. So, Fireball's balancing factor is just gone. Illusion wizards. I can, like, make my fart noise also have the image of a gas cloud at the same time.
Yes, but once they hit level 20, they beat out all their classes.
Oh,
because
yeah.
of a spell combination.
Hard agree.
Because you
Hard
can
agree.
cast the one spell that makes everyone see their nightmare,
Yep.
and then you make it real.
Dude,
Imagine
illusion...
you're fighting an army, and the wizard just walks out and, "Your nightmares, please!"
Good fucking luck getting to level
and
20.
they just start getting drugged into the darkness by their nightmares.
Hey, Dominic,
Imagine
you basically
if
cast Real Nightmare.
Is...
Oh my
all the
God,
people
fuck off.
who are just scared of death, they just instantly die.
Also, can we talk about the spell Real Nightmare just being a spell that fucks up time? Like, I get that that's a nightmare, but shouldn't it be like Time Gibble or Chronology Crash or something? Chronologic Crash. Or, like, Temporal Tangle, not Real Nightmare. Because, yes, I get it, it's a nightmare, but it doesn't put anyone to sleep, and it doesn't make their nightmares a reality, unless, like, their twisting of time specifically makes a specific person's nightmare a reality. Bad naming convention, worst arc, butt jiggle gang. Fuck off.
I love
Leave the butt jiggle gang out of this. They were trying their best to take over that.
Look, man, like, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Thing.
They can keep their awful magic and their awful fucking character designs
Wow,
far
I
away
can't
from
believe
me.
it. I just had it spoiled for me that they were trying to take over a floating thing. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Not the floating thing.
They
I'm glad
technically
there's
didn't
been
even try to
no
take
steps.
anything over. They just want to
Yes, they
steal
did.
shit. No, they just wanted to
No,
steal
they
shit.
did. Oh yeah, they wanted to take over that stupid clock.
They didn't want it because of its
Yeah.
power. They wanted it because they thought they could make money.
Yeah, they were trying to steal stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I could also get an additional cast of heat metal.
Any anime
But I
arc.
really hope
Speaking
we
of
get a
heat metal. Speaking of heat metal, thinking about the Butt Jiggle Gang. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
God.
Just it's out of context. Just wait, you will get it. Like if you ever watch it, you will get it. You will see it, and you'll be like, "God damn it, that's what he meant."
By the time I get to that point, Fairy Tale, I'm probably gonna have completely forgotten that you said that.
It'll appear in your mind.
Oh
I
my
was gonna
god,
say,
the
I really
cryptid
hope that-
appeared in roll 20, but he's not in the call.
Holy
Probably
shit!
because Harley.
Ah, there he is.
There's the man.
Or
There he
Raid
is.
Master.
Sorry, it took just a minute. I was working outside until a few minutes ago.
No
No,
worries.
it's all good. It's the time for outside work, and
The
I don't
time
know.
for talk has passed, and the
Lord's
Lord's
work
work must
must
be
be
done.
mean,
the outside
Hasn't
work.
passed yet. We still have 3 minutes.
We still have 3 minutes of
Anyway,
allotted
as I
bullshit
was
time
trying
that
to
I'm going
say,
to
I
spend
really
talking about
hope
my
that
elderberry plant.
I get a chance to use
elderberries.
metal sometime soon, just because, heat metal. Who.
He who-
So yeah, I apologize if I'm at all low energy this game. Might just
No
be
worries,
in
dude.
the background.
I'll low your energy.
I will
Waka
drop
waka.
kick you into the sea, and hopefully that gets you salty enough to get back into the game. I don't know. I was gonna try to make a joke about electrolytes, and it just
Stop
didn't
trying to
work.
make jokes, Dominic. You're not good at it.
Anyway, I heard somebody was
Ouch.
excited about elderberries. I will have you know, whoever it was, I lost it in the sea of voices. that I plan to make elderberry jam this year if my plant flowers enough berries. So,
You see, your father was a hamster, and your mother smelled of elderberries.
dude, if my mom smelled of elderberries, like it's because she was helping me make the jam. All right, and the jam is gonna be delicious.
So, why is smelling of elderberries bad?
No idea. Never had an elderberry in my life. I'm about to.
It's
You make wine with it.
True, but it's also a stupid joke from one of the funniest fucking movies.
You can also
Oh.
use it in medicinal tea.
Oh, it's your mother's
It's a
smell
Monty-
of elderberry is supposed to be like
Yeah,
your mother's a drunk. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. It's for Monty Python.
I
Yeah,
thought
no,
it was
Monty
your
Python
father
is amazing.
smelled of elderberries,
I'm not
and your
that.
mother was a hamster.
I intentionally reversed it.
Oh. okay, well. Yeah,
Does
I
that-
I know what Monty Python is at least. I'm.
Are
not
we
that-
implying
I never
hamster
watched it.
bestiality?
What?
What?
I'm just not. I'm.
What's
Ju-
the implication?
yes, it
Sorry,
was the implication.
back up.
Not allowed to talk anymore, Don.
It's Monty Python. Blame Mr. Python
Yes.
himself.
John Python.
I'd rather fight something in this forest with sharp pointy teeth than
Johnny-
listen to that anymore.
Johnny Python. Bling Bling is the Black Knight.
Oh my god.
I haven't thought about Johnny Johnny Test in a goddamn minute. Oh man. Oh gosh.
Why are you no longer an agent? I blew up Malaysia.
I blew up
20
Malaysia.
I think if Johnny Test were made today, I think there would be a plot point in one of the episodes of Bling Bling Boy trying to get Johnny's sister's feet picked.
I
I'm
like
trying to
you
get-
could
it would
tell
be-
me that was a plot of one of the regular episodes, and I'd believe you.
Let's be real. If it was made today, he'd be thirsting over Johnny's feet instead.
Oh god.
That's true.
Oh.
No, I don't want anybody
That-
thirsting
oh,
after that
yes.
drug.
Oh,
Like
that
that.
would
Wasn't
be
there
the twist.
a
That
whole
would be the
thing
twist.
in the show that was like there's an alternate gender swap universe and
Yes.
isn't
Yeah.
Bling Bling Boy or I guess Bling
Uh,
Bling Girl in that universe after Johnny, or is he still or she
Gucci-
after her
Gucci-
brothers?
Gucci
God, that's
girl.
confusion.
A lot
No,
of bullshit time over.
no,
A lot of
yeah,
bullshit time over.
thank
A lot of
fucking
bullshit
God.
time.
Yes, it is. It is time for no more talk about Johnny Test,
I'm
and
looking this up.
instead, stop talking about
No.
Johnny Test, and instead we
No.
talk about planes and quests. Hi, welcome. It's rhyming time, and
We
together,
wanted to go to Alaska.
it's not Alaska. If it was S before the K, I'd understand, but it's Kasa. Kasa. You
Here's the thing,
motherfucker.
at a glance, it's Alaska, if you squint hard enough.
Okay, well, enjoy what is definitely not going to be Alaska. Also, I will end the bullshit hours by just saying I saw a posting on like Google Jobs the other day. It's like, we will pay you to move to rural Alaska, and it's like, that's like tempting, but also it's rural Alaska.
I think when
Especially
when-
rural.
Alaska is, like I said to Tom, too rural. I think that's. Here's the thing. Rule of thumb: if I have to get to the local Taco Bell on Sled Dog Squad, then it's too. rural.
If Montana is a pretty girl, Alaska is that girl's shotgun wielding, leg day no skip father. Buff as
I
fuck.
have mad respect though for those who make it.
Oh,
work.
absolutely.
I
Oh god, no. No more Johnny Test. Anyway,
Lord, Johnny.
last
I
time-
looked it up,
2
and
minutes.
Cameron wasn't too far off. The swap version is called Gling Gling Girl.
That's terrible. They could have.
Oh
I
my
guess
God.
Gucci probably wouldn't have signed off on that brand deal. But anyway, last time on Planes and Quests, you guys had just arrived in Rukrot for the very, very first time. You ended up in the border town of Guliak, or what is formerly the border town known as Guliak. Yes, you did a little
The
killing
gulag.
after the skeletons did a little killing of literally everyone in
They
town.
did a lot of killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
So it is
managed
the
to
gulag.
rescue and take one particular person back to Balbot for safekeeping. That was done by Jamberman and questionable Kunj. They do take psychic damage, so sorry, bad joke. The at the end of it, you guys.
I made that joke last time, and I got an NPC all mad at me.
That was
Just
not
let
the
them
joke.
cook.
That was not the joke that you made. I think it was a joke about eating
Yeah.
dirt. I think it was because you fell on your face, and then the NPC got mad when you said something about that to her.
made
I
a
don't remember
joke
it exactly.
Similar to what Kunj said, or what Kunj said, what Duck said, and you made the NPC give me like a dirty look.
No, I did not make the NPC give you a
Yes,
dirty look for
You
that.
did, and that's why I shat out the comment that made you make her mad at me. That is exactly what happened.
Regardless, at the end of that, you guys saw a shadow pass over the trees, unsure of what the form was. Right now,
Glad.
the town itself is pretty much empty. You killed a lot of skeletons, but this does not bode well for what's to come. And we're going to start this off by, did we do any skeleton looting last time? I just want to
We
make
have
sure.
not.
I don't think I did,
Don't think so.
but
Okay, so let's if you guys want to do any kind of looting, anything, let me know now.
steal their parts.
We
Okay.
probably should loot just to make
Sorry,
sure.
what was that?
You want to steal their parts, you said.
I'm gonna steal their parts.
Steal their parts, loot their bodies, get their gear.
What's complicated about that? You just
Fuck
want to
their
steal
blood.
parts.
Drink their blood. Come on, Jeff. Get him.
Do it!
So,
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
perception check.
you can
Right,
do me a
or-
survival check if you want to try to harvest some usable parts off the
Right,
guys,
survival
or you can investigation if you'd like to search the area for loots and good vibes.
Both, but should
I don't
probably
know why I
just do
said good
one of them.
vibes.
Good
Uh,
vibration.
Did I thought I made a survival macro. Where'd it go?
Do you want investigation checks for looting here?
Yeah, you guys can do an investigation
Go,
check for
plus
some
0.
loots.
My God, I
Um,
got a 15 with a plus 0. Let's
I
go.
get- I mean, I guess I should join in on this and say.
Is this
since I think
happening?
it-
Is this happening while I'm currently not in the scene, teleporting away our survivor?
Now, we could say that you could have teleported her back by this point. It didn't take you too long. We're doing just a minor little time skip for
Okay.
that.
Let's
Hey,
see,
I'm
where-
gonna go ahead and do my. I'll get up close and personal with whatever I'm investigating with, so that way I can get my advantage.
I
Okay.
can't believe I somehow rolled more than Ocularis on an investigation roll.
Yeah,
dirty
I rolled really low.
Yeah, we're
Probably rolled a
talking.
1.
So
You
just
rolled like a
survival?
5. Yeah, if you wanna like harvest the parts off of these skellies, or otherwise if you wanna
Okay.
find some stuff.
I didn't. I thought. I guess nature is only for plants. Because I don't.
My-
My
Well, it's also for beasts.
survival. My survival
no-
is bad.
I also need to
Hmm.
find something because apparently I am missing a particular thing. Where is it?
My nose is connected to the
Oh.
ground right now.
It's in here, but it's not. Yeah. Okay. That'll do. I forgot to add something, so I'm gonna do it really quick. But so let me get everybody what you find. Let me get some written out here.
I just had to go re-enable 3D dice.
I should probably set up a macro for my glasses.
Macros
way-
are too fun.
They are. I really need to get some. Yeah, so let me do that real quick.
I kind of
Well,
just
for
like
me,
that
it's
it doesn't.
not even really about fun. It's just about not having to open the fucking dice menu every single time.
I kind of dislike how it doesn't show your bonuses.
It does.
Yes.
You have to include them in the macros like command. and it'll add them.
Oh, you have mouse over and you
Mhm.
can see them. I didn't even notice that.
Technically
Yeah.
speaking, when you write a macro, you can have it use your character sheet's specific bonus for that by calling the attribute that's on your character sheet.
Quill.
I like
That sounds
writing
like
funny
work.
ones. It is, but it's fun work because you get to write stupid funny ones, and that's my
Yeah, you-
favorite type of ones to make.
You can get creative.
It's my fucking
Like,
computer dice.
Let's see. Bam, like this one.
So I think one of you got an investigation check over 20. No, it was two of you. It was Jen and Kunj. And
Yep.
so let's quickly... Oh my gosh.
Somehow,
Yeah,
I managed to fucking do that in a fucking example roll.
an example roll of your macro making fun of yourself, and you rolled like a champion.
Why does it show 2 numbers on there?
It's for advantage, or whether or not I have advantage or disadvantage. Yee.
Okay, so I have the last of it here. Okay, so this contains everything that was on the skeletons' bodies, as well as a few bits and pieces that were left over in the actual homes. As for you, Celira, you managed to gather together, by breaking open some of these bones, a good collection of skeleton marrow.
Oh wow, 2
Okay.
potions of healing, huh? That's certainly something. A bunch of
pretty good.
scimitars. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, we
Seven.
could take these weapons and we could sell them to the local weapon trader. Or we can send them back to fucking Dominavis to
Okay, so
arm our
how
army.
much skeleton marrow?
Oh shoot, what was the number I just said? I've lost.
You didn't say a number. You said a good collection.
Oh, no, yeah, the number should be, it looks to be 10 units. Yeah, there were a lot of skeletons, so it's about 10 units of usable, skeleton marrow.
Could have been more if I rolled fucking 12.
I kind of want to mark down these weapons to use to arm our guards in Dominavis. Just give them a bunch of crossbows and a bunch of scimitars.
Skeleton marrow. 10. How much does a unit of skeleton marrow weigh?
You have to collect them in small vials, and the marrow itself, doesn't weigh too much, so I'm gonna say it's like... What's the vial's weight? It's like what? Oh, it has nothing, so I'm just gonna say it's like 0.4. Maybe 0.4 is fine.
That's oddly specific.
I don't know. I didn't think of the weights. It's...
I know I have lizard bones, and those are just 0.1.
Yeah, let's do it like 0.2 then. That sounds better.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Oh, that's down.
Do-do-do-do-do. And let's see.
Chump change on them too.
They are
think-
skeletons.
Who wants the potions?
Um,
I'm making the potions.
Probably
Maybe,
somebody who doesn't have passive healing
true.
through
I mean,
abilities and stuff.
technically don't, but
Okay,
I
so I
have a
need to make-
huge health pool, so I
Yeah,
don't
yeah. I
need it.
misworded that. Like somebody who cannot heal themselves or others
Oh yeah, I can heal myself,
traditionally.
so I don't need it.
I can also heal myself.
I forgot I was gonna do that on the way here, but I forgot. So. As well,
Oh,
while we're here.
who has the lowest amount of HP out of us?
2, 3.
I think
I want
that's
to
me.
say that-
Ocularis.
Yeah.
We could give the potions to you then, because
Okay.
Certainly one of them, I think, would be good for Ocularis.
my boon.
I think I'm. Is it me or is it Dusty who has the second lowest then?
I have 129.
I have
Yeah,
121.
101.
Yeah.
Where did I put the chart for the
I'm at
fucking
134.
chemical elixirs?
Okay, do you mind if I take the other one then?
I mean, go ahead. Like I said, I can heal myself.
go
So
for it.
Cool. Alright, I'll take one of the healing
Apparently I need
potions
to
and
look this up on
Ocularis will take the other one.
Cybeatools.
God, I feel bulky. I have.
Are these just like,
187 HP.
Are these just like traditional 1d8 plus something health potions? Or...
Yeah, they are the minor health potions, or like the lowest level. I can never remember if they're called just like potions of healing, and then there's like the greater potion of it's just potion
think
of
so.
healing, the one that's 2d4 plus
Yeah.
2.
It's 2d4 plus 2. Okay, I'll write that down.
Beep, beep,
And then in
beep.
order to make supreme potions of healing, you need unicorn horns and fairy. Oh wait, wrong game.
What the fuck?
And I have brain rot.
That's not even a Kingdom Hearts thing. That's a Terraria thing.
Well, I'm not going to say that I knew, but I was guessing it had to either be Kingdom Hearts or some other game that you spend a lot of time playing.
Terraria, want to heal
Really?
yourself?
I'm
Don't.
just lying. It was a
See
shot
that
in the dark.
majestic- See that majestic creature over there? Fucking murder it. Kill it. Kill it for its horn. It's ivory. You need it for healing. Trust me.
do
Any-
it.
Worse,
I mean, to be fair, the unicorns in Terraria try to kill you.
Well, that's because you're unpure of heart because you're a gamer.
are you sure
Anyway,
it's because he's a gamer and not for other reasons.
I mean, I
because
don't
he's
know.
been murdering every single animal on the.
if you
on
believe
the-
Gravity Falls, unicorns are just dicks.
Fucking load.
Okay.
Gravity Falls.
So, with everybody having checked through all of those objects and items and picked through the remains of the town, where do you guys plan to head next? You guys parked your little caravan just a little bit outside of town near to Balbot. And even as you get here, the weather is starting to get muggy and humid. I believe that even after a good bit of time, it is quite literally... I believe it's 1 p.m. now.
Well, we
Oh, no,
did
yeah.
see-
It would be 1 p.m. after a rest, I think. Not sure if you guys took a rest or not.
I don't think so.
I'm going to
No.
assume then.
It would be so cool if Cybeatools load.
I have no idea why I have this wrong. Okay, I know it was late night when we were there last, so I'm gonna say it's 11 p.m. on the night of the 4th. And so you
Well-
guys can start from there. Also,
We
Jen gets his
could.
limited wish back. That was supposed to happen at 2 p.m. So, Jen, you have your limited wish.
Woohoo!
Yay.
So it's currently 11 p.m.
Mhm.
So we could sleep until morning.
True.
Sleep in the destroyed village, though.
I mean, why not?
It's a destroyed village with a lot of dead bodies and skeletons.
Well, if we wait here, it could get attacked again, and potentially we
nobody-
may be able to find out more. But
I was gonna say there's nobody left to defend.
That is true. The one survivor has been zipped to a safer zone.
well, there's already light and stuff here too, and I think in a country overrun by undead, trying to move through the country in the dead of night, when a vast majority of us do not have dark vision, would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Mind you, this
Sounds like a
is
skill.
also the jungle.
Yeah, we would get easily ambushed by shit. So
I can cast light.
true,
You
but
would,
then
we-
again,
we
if you
have
cast light in the
Ocular.
dark, we become a beacon to anything around us.
How the fuck are we going to get ambushed when we have Ocular?
He's got a point there.
That's true.
Man's passive perception is like 40.
Yeah, but we did see something big and scary fly off in the dark. I don't
At
want to
least like
find
go
out what
back
that
to
is.
the cart and not just leave it untended overnight.
This is true.
Well, personally, I'm always
Oh
the type that doesn't like traveling at night, but if we can help it,
Yeah, I'm
is-
also in favor of just camping it out here because seems like a more safer spot than running into something in the dark.
I still do think like at the very least we should go back to the cart instead of just leaving
Yeah,
it there
yeah,
because
we should.
very well
yeah,
our
yeah,
horses
of
could get
course.
fucking murdered by zombies in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
well,
I
yeah,
agree with
we're
that.
Not going to,
100%.
we're not going to just
Yeah.
abandon our stuff because technically we have a bunch of crap in the things anyway.
Okay.
Just moving into the town, really.
So yeah, you guys can definitely collect the carts and move them into the town.
And also, either way, if they're undead, what do you think the likelihood is that they'll be attacking things during the day?
This isn't Minecraft. Zombies don't
Well,
burn in
I'm
the
not
sun.
saying that, but remember, attacks and stuff and ambushes and attacking villages and things is easier at night when villagers and stuff are asleep. So attacks may be more likely at night than in the day.
I don't think they maintain intelligence significant to plan out attacks.
If somebody's controlling them, they would.
Yeah.
Which I guarantee you somebody is controlling.
And to be
There's
fair,
no
that's
way it's
that's
not.
assuming a lot based on what is general knowledge of some kinds of undead. Definitely, if they are attacking towns in large groups such as that, with what appear to be clear leaders or large bands, they are very likely at least somewhat organized from what you guys saw.
Resilience and swiftness.
Yeah, and my assumption is that there's somebody controlling their actions, or organizing them on a deeper, or not deeper, a grander scale.
Yes, indeed. But you guys can certainly go ahead and take a long rest. Do you have a time that you guys would like to get up at night? And
I'd
do you
say
have any
crack
preps
of
you want
dawn.
to do?
I'd say probably crack of dawn if I were to make a statement on that.
At least 8 hours is going to set you back to roughly, if I have a fat brain, it will be 7 a.m. would be the minimum time that you guys could get up and getting a full 8 hours sleep.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
There we go. I
And
finally
also
have my-
remember, I have hut. I have Lehman's tiny hut, so we can have a safe, comfortable place to sleep.
Well, you guys can. I'm not sure the horses can fit with everyone in the
Oh, we all
hut.
gotta fit.
No,
Sounds-
I can't
can we
fit
all
the
fit in
horses,
there?
but I can fit all the people.
I love Leoman sign up.
I could
Uh,
put the horses in my demi plane overnight and then retrieve them in the morning.
that is
there
a
oxygen
wild
in the
idea.
demi-plane?
What?
I like.
Is there oxygen in the demi-plane? Are we gonna open
Yes.
the fucking
Yes, there
portal
is.
and they're dead on the ground.
It's
No, we just,
basically separated, just like it's a demiplane. It's like a miniature existence.
You know, it's just Schrodinger's horse. It's
To be
like-
fair, that is an
I
eighth
could-
level
I could look
spell.
I could look up the exact details of it, but as I recall, it's
Okay.
a fairly large room with like descriptionless walls that are like just like
Yes,
nothingness.
Demiplane as an
Alright,
8th
I
level
guess-
spell lasts for
I
an
think we
hour,
should
and it
just-
is a featureless room for 30 feet in each dimension. So it's 30 by 30, made of wood or
Yeah.
stone.
You think that they could survive 8 hours in a 30 by 30 cube?
Let's just put in the hut
You will have to
And
cast it twice, mind.
That's fine.
wherever tomorrow because we have spent 20 minutes and gotten nowhere.
Regardless, you guys can either keep the horses nearby. Obviously, somebody might be keeping watch, so it's not like the horses will be totally unsafe
Well, I
in
mean,
whatever
if,
case.
If Jammerman wants to put them into the demiplane, then I mean,
I
I'm
can
not
keep
against
night
that
watch.
idea.
I am an owl.
That doesn't mean you don't need sleep, though. So you do need to catch some Z's. Remember what happened that one time?
But we were resting in the cart on the way here because the horses were doing all the work. So basically, they've only been awake for like.
He could have been sleeping on the way here, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Though,
I always assumed that while we were traveling, unless like we were actively doing something, basically,
uh-oh.
they were waiting to get somewhere.
We're getting
Oh,
some
God.
roboting.
But
Yeah, it's
might be
roboting
wrong.
pretty bad.
Mm.
But I think yes, you, and I think I got the gist of what you were saying though. Unless you want to specifically be taking long rests during the thing, I will probably just say it's mostly just downtime activity. If you want to do sleeping, that's just fine. I won't consider any kind of like exhaustion or anything like that, but still, staying up that late and then going on a big old thing can be pretty exhausting.
Then I guess I won't keep watch.
Just toss him in the
We,
demiplane. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And again, you can rotate in and out for watches. You only need
Yeah.
6 hours of the
Nonsense.
sleep.
We're Nonsense. We're invisible in the hut, and we have no problems thanks to my demiplane. Magic is the greatest.
In that case, we're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna cast Demiplane, and the horses can stay in the box. So when you guys wake up, you're gonna have to spend another spell slot at the start after your long rest to make the horses come back out. But regardless,
Naughty
other
horses
than
go
that,
to the forever box.
yeah, they also are not that happy being in the Demiplane, but it's better than being outside.
What the fuck is this shit?
Perhaps if we're going to
We
do this
we
plan
throw
with the
we threw some food in there for them. They're happy. They're dumb animals.
Dumb animals that don't like to not be able to see. As far as I'm remembering.
Bro, they'll stand in a smaller box in a stable. I think they'll be fine.
Well, in stables they have big open spaces that they can see in, and usually.
Regardless, the horses are fine. They were just a little bit grumpy, and that's it. They're just happy that they got fed and yada yada. And you guys can decide where you would like to go next.
Coolio.
I think the best course of action would be to head for the capital, which is fine, Alalaxa.
Thank you.
Alalaxa.
Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska. We'll go to Alaska. Thank you, everybody, for
God.
Also, this is not supposed to be in feet, and I don't know why it's in feet.
Man, this is a really small country.
Yeah, this is. Hang on, I can fix this. It's
Guys,
supposed to be in
I can
miles.
see Alaska from here.
It's the land of the gnomes.
It's the land of the free and home of the
Two
gnomes.
houses.
It's the land of the gnomes
Alright.
and the kobolds. They've been at war for centuries.
This should fix it. Let me check. A single thing should now be
That's
listed
a
as.
weird route we're taking.
That's not exactly 4 miles.
He wants to do a lot of swimming.
Oh, it's because the grid is. Oh, for fuck's sake, grid.
And also how I love it how every time we move to a new place, fish get drawn.
And
These
the
fish
Among
look like
Us.
the
There are no fish. You see no fish.
There are no
The
Among
Among
Us.
Us
You
does
see
not
no
get
Among
drawn.
Us.
Okay, it should be the proper distances now.
Now anybody who draws Among Us gets punished.
Maybe
So,
I'm just gaslighting everyone.
Did you draw some Among Us somewhere?
Perhaps.
No.
I at this
Now
point,
on, if
I'm
you draw
immune
an
to it.
Among Us,
I'm
you
just
get,
gonna.
10d10 psychic damage.
Regardless, your travels to get along in that direction. Let's see. If you're following the road, reaching the bridge is going to take you 12 hours. So, you guys will be reaching the bridge after 12 total hours of travel within the jungles. Does anybody have anything in particular they'd like to be doing while you guys are traveling?
I mean, if I'm not driving my wagon, I'll spend some time tending to my brewer's supplies.
Okay.
I am gonna be. I'll be playing some music on my lute for everyone.
Indeed. Okay, so
I just realized since Jammerman can just teleport, could he teleport back to Dome and office and grab me the potions out of the laboratory that I forgot?
Yes. I would have to bring them back to you tomorrow,
It-
though.
It's like the shit, I forgot my keys.
Yeah,
Instead
unironically,
of
yeah, I could just do that.
but he would, as he said, have to be gone for a
we're in
day.
a
Let me put it this
That
way:
can't be-
I could literally teleport us all home to sleep in our own beds every night.
It is a big waste of spell slots, though.
I mean, if I'm not doing anything else that whole day.
And
there's
you
no
guys
reason not
have the obelisk teleporter
Yep.
along with you. It just requires
one-way.
power. No, it's two-way.
Oh wait, right, you.
to. What does it require for power again?
It requires a humming gemstone, which requires a gemstone of 50 GP's worth or higher to just be cut in a particular way using jeweler's tools.
Or I could teleport for free.
Cool.
Um,
Regardless,
do I-
you guys are in the middle of your travels through the jungle, and the sounds of the jungle as you're moving throughout the day on this dirt but still decently paved through and trod road. You can see that just beyond the sides of the road, everything is very tangled, everything is very overgrown. It seems that life here is pretty damn abundant, even in the face of invading skeletons or whatever undead thing is happening here. You do still occasionally hear the sound of wildlife lurking off in the distance. The trees here just tower incredibly high. And during your travels, you guys come... Yeah, you guys look like you're having a decently quiet time. Sorry about that. I was doing a little roll.
Oh, is that you, Dominic?
No.
I keep hearing like a scratching noise, and you're the only one who's lighting up.
That's...
Well, it didn't me, but I'm always lit up for some reason.
Might be Mike scratching on something.
My mic is... like, if it
Yeah,
was...
that's what it's like the foam on it getting jostled around.
Like that.
Yeah.
Is that the sound you're hearing?
Well, not exactly that, but you know what I mean.
I'm just trying to determine what was causing
Never
it.
mind.
Well, regardless, that should be... Well, I moved it a little bit away, or at least the pop filter a little bit away, but nothing should be jostling my mic anymore. It could be something else playing through my... Let me check the audio. Everything
Oh, God,
looks
why did I say
fine.
anything?
Don't worry about it. We'll let you know if it's happening again.
Okay, well,
It was Kunj the whole time, I bet.
when you guys
No,
are
it wasn't
getting...
me.
When you
Mafia
guys are
wasn't
getting
me,
here...
Oh, okay.
and you're approaching this area, you spy what appears to be a large, relatively flat sect of land where the road up ahead is going to start splitting. and it's weirdly empty here. As you guys are moving in, Ocularis, with your high passive perception, you're able to spy nearly like very heavily modded with grass off the side of the road is a knocked over large piece of wood.
Okay. I'll make sure to relay to everybody what I see.
Well, take a quick stop and check it out.
Yeah.
See
Okay.
what it's all about.
Investigation.
No need.
No,
You
I-
guys make your way over to the large wooden slab, and you clear and try to pull it and yank it out of the grass, and you yank up quite a lot of like dirt with the grass that's tangled itself within like the planks, and you see a painted sign that says Boromir. Or Bormure, excuse me.
Bormure? Okay. How do you spell that?
It is Bormuer.
Bornue.
Kunj, you recognize this as the sign for the outer border town just south of Alalaksa. It is not here properly. You know that there should definitely be a lot more buildings in this area.
Kunj definitely looks tense at that. It looks a lot different from the last time I was here. There should be a actual town here.
Oh, and I'll also add this here, since you would know that this is the area surrounding the capital city, which will be just north of you, is a large bog. It's a lake that is, well, it's like a swamp, hence the way that it is currently named. You can even see it. The water, the water comes up to this area. You can see it in the distance. You can see reeds. You can hear the sounds of bugs buzzing, and there are there's nothing here. You can see where the roads once were, but as you're approaching, you're just not seeing buildings.
That's
It's
that like not even like foundations or where it looks like buildings used to be. They're just gone.
You now that you've mentioned that, as you kind of take a look around for exactly that, you look for foundations or anything else to mark the presence of buildings, and you find them. You find what are essentially sunken places where buildings used to be, but kind of taking a look around and trying to gather what you can, it looks like the buildings here were destroyed and the bits and pieces hauled off somewhere.
Okay, because I'm just gonna say a lot scarier if there used to be buildings here, but now there was no trace of them.
Robot mode.
God, Jesus.
Yes. And much what's worse is that Kunj, you knew this to be a very populated settlement. Like, very. One of the very few actual settlements of non-tribesmen in Rukrod. One of, I believe,
really?
3.
Well, this used to be a really nice place, very popular.
Sorry,
Just
4.
Well,
Weird for it to be gone.
Sebastian will pull the sign back up and try to set it back up so it stands tall again.
Okay, so you set the sign back up, and it stands proudly once again, fairly dirty and still with bits of grass stuck in it, over the now empty plot that used to be Bormure. You do note as well, as you guys are kind of making your way towards the center of where the town used to be, that there is a lot of essentially stamping and what would have been foot traffic in this dirt. Even though it is much more muddy than the roads that you were traveling previously, you can still tell that these roads are traveled a lot. But there is no one here.
We'll figure out what happened here.
So that, I suppose that would imply that whatever
This was a
happened
nice
happened
place,
some time
too.
ago.
So
If this
right
was a
now,
fresh
this-
incident, it wouldn't really be stomped down already.
let me see. I think. Do we have any idea? You know what? Never mind. It's probably not important.
Okay.
Not
So
everything you say is important, Cameron. You should feel love.
are you guys going to continue north towards the capital still?
I don't want to feel anything after hearing that.
Probably-
I'm gonna be honest.
Probably could,
I think
sure,
so.
we'll
There's not
continue
really
north.
much we can do here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we could
Unless we
dig
want to-
for dig down and see if maybe they just sank.
Sank.
I don't know. It's a swamp, man. That's why you don't
True.
build on swamps.
Granted, this is further away from the actual swampy swamp bits of the land. The water is still a little bit further north from here. But the ground here is incredibly moist, and it is
These
swamp-like.
idiots building their capital on the middle of in the middle of the literal worst kind of land to build on.
Hey, bayou living ain't easy.
So, as you guys continue further north towards the capital city, it comes into view. Familiar to Kunj and probably in description to Jen, but to everyone else, as you guys kind of round the corner and the trees part enough for you to see the large collection of swamp lakes, you can spy what is a very Mayan-style kind of central city. It towers pretty highly on what is a central island in the middle of this swamp lake. And there is a large bridge ahead of you that is very... It stretches over the large swath of swamp where the road kind of finally ends and all of the murky, muddy, reed-infested water is. You can imagine that there are lots of hostile creatures and still yet abundant life within the actual water. But as you guys get a little bit closer, something gives you pause as you approach the bridge. The bridge has a giant gate on it that, Kunj, you don't recognize. It appears to be cobbled together from all sorts of things, various bits and pieces,
I wonder why.
and it makes a giant fortification on this end. Those of you who are more perceptive, too, can spy lots, and I mean swarms of figures on the other side of the fortification.
Man, if this
Ooh.
was here whenever I would try to leave, I would not have gotten out. Jesus.
So, for those of us
Swarms
who
of figures
can...
on the other side, like in Alaska or like Alaska.
On this,
I'm
yes,
sorry, Dom,
on
you guys
this
are so
side.
hard to pronounce.
On this side of the bridge and on this like other half past the fortification on the other side to you, essentially on the other side of the blockade, there are
Do they
So
look
on
like
the
swaths.
bridge.
normal
On-
people or
No. As you take a peek,
well,
you
shit.
see what there are a few humanoid figures shambling around, but a large collection of them appear to be skeletons.
Well, that's not good.
And
Ooh.
we're talking mobs very, very large in size. To compare it to the force that you had just dealt with, we're talking maybe just on the bridge alone, something 5 times more dense.
Is it gonna be worse than the sandworm den?
It looks like an incredible congregation of undead, and it is... They are just on the bridge, and it looks like they're...
Yeah.
Yes, it's on the bridge, and while they are shuffling around, it does have a modicum of behavioral, like, movement to it. Like, imagine an army marching, as it were.
Wait, so they haven't gotten into Alala, the capital. They're
They...
just
You
on-
can't see
on the
fully...
bridge.
You can't fully see into the capital, but judging from the way that they're moving, they're heading towards the capital, and there are some coming from the capital on the other side of this large barricade.
I mean, I could do a flyover and try and see if I can get a better idea of what's going on.
It is a very long distance to travel. Mind you, when I say this bridge itself is 8 miles long. It is a long constructed stone bridge. This is probably the largest construction other than the actual city.
Disconnected.
Uh-oh.
It says he's fully offline on Discord.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, maybe his power went out.
Oh.
Internet just died.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Internet.
I'm just gonna let him know we can keep going. I'm just gonna. So I'll just let him know we can keep going, and he can drop back in, for the time being. But so yes, so this large 8-mile bridge has large platoons, almost an army's worth of skeletons and zombies shuttling and shuffling back and forth on it, like they're doing long.
How high is this fortification? This blockade.
The blockade itself is probably a good 10 feet, 20 feet tall, and it again is cobbled together.
Would it take me? Because I don't know how much it would be off the top of my head. How long would it take to do, like? Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
What's your flying speed?
How long would it? I believe it's just 30 feet, but let me double check.
If it's 30 feet and you're dashing, you would be able to make it all the way, let's see, from this spot. It is going to be about 12 miles just to get over the city. And that means you will have to do 2 hours flight there and 2 hours flight back.
Damn. It might be worth it though. Yeah, it's 30. It might be worth it just to try and get an idea of. I mean, is the capital just fucking gone?
The capital is still there, mind you. The long ancient ruins that make up the capital.
I didn't mean literally gone, but you know.
But
like,
you mean taken over.
completely swarmed with undead, and everybody's dead.
Well, you could
Check
certainly
before
go
we
ahead.
Fight our way in there.
Depending on the
yeah, I
size
think
of
I'm
the
gonna do
force,
that.
fighting might not be an option.
Once we get like as close as we're comfortable with getting, I'll fly. What's the range of a bow? I'm gonna stay 1 foot out past that from the bridge.
Okay,
Sorry.
so at this point, you guys
Keep
think you're
away
about
from
as
the bridge,
close as
just
you
in
can
case
get.
There are any projectile shooters.
Without having to make a stealth check, this is about as close as you think you can get. And if you're going to do this, I am going to have you make a stealth check, Alex. To not be spotted.
Oh god.
I will have it be an advantage because it is starting to get late in the day and it is dark. Though there are fires that are lights coming from the city.
I can always fly. If I do get spotted, I can always fly like this way to not lead them back to the cart.
That's fair
Just
enough.
until like I'm out of the way.
So,
But,
how long
alright.
would you say it would take you from where we are now, on this new spot?
2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Okay, well, I would only be able to help you with maybe an hour of the flight, but after that, you'll be on your own.
And that's to get to the edge of the city. If you wanted to take longer to do a flyover of the city itself, that would probably take you an additional hour to get to maybe the central part and then come back.
You said advantage, right?
Yes, you can make it with advantage. 14's still not bad.
Might
Yeah,
as
it could
well.
be worse.
Is
There
you go.
If it's a bit more close, I could have. Okay, good.
Getting to about there would make it even easier for you guys to be spotted. You guys are hidden by the trees at this point. So Celira is going to take off.
Wait. Before we go, we had the I almost forgot that we had the headset thing. Or the Skype call.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
we
Oh
should-
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, we should set that up.
So we
Yeah,
can set up the
definitely.
Skype call.
I can do that.
Yeah. That way.
I can set up the Skype.
Also,
So
Dominic,
So
I have
if
a question
take more
before
than
this.
4 hours to get back, then everybody's not just like, oh fuck, I guess Celira's dead.
If you want to go to the center of the city, it'll be 6 hours total. But everybody can kind of set up at that time.
Do you mind if I ask a quick question?
He's back. Yes, what's up?
Is there a place atop the blockade that we could sit and maybe get a better view of the bridge?
Atop the blockade. Now, when I say here, let me kind of make this clear. The blockade sits right here. It's not nearby to you. It is essentially on the end of the bridge on this side. Getting
Right.
up to the blockade will guarantee you that you are spotted. Unless you are invisible, and manning on top of the blockade is not possible. This thing doesn't even have a battlement. You can see that the city itself does have something similar, or places where you think that people could patrol, but out here, this is a cobbled together structure.
Okay, so I couldn't, like, say, dimension door up there and scout ahead.
Dimension dooring
Or
up there
scout the
could
bridge.
be possible if you get close enough, but you will have to make a stealth check, and you may be spotted. It is a risk that you will take. Celira got a great check, and while she'll be gone for a while, the Skype call is up, and you guys will be able to get live feedback on what she's seeing. But you can still do your dimension dooring if you would like to, Cameron.
No, I don't want to risk, if Celira's passing the check and we're doing good, I don't think I want to risk us getting spotted, because for Sebastian, stealth is not his strong suit, so I
Okay.
How
prefer
far does
not to
Dimension
take
Door
that
take
risk.
you again at a maximum?
I believe it's 500 feet. I might be
500.
wrong.
So that I probably wouldn't really be. Well, since I can fly, I could probably use it to like get out of the city if I did get spotted. Because if I just spawned in the fucking air, I could just
I
Sure.
mean,
stop falling.
if we did use that, I could use my invisibility spell on you as well.
He is currently
I mean,
just fine. He's got a great check,
I don't think it'd
and
be
it is gonna be
possible.
be able to work. Because again, it is nighttime. It is a dark figure, cloaked against like the night sky. It is pretty much going to be and it's going to be an okay thing to just be over it, at the very least. So sorry. We're going to kind of get you on this. So, over the course of the 3 hours that
Alright,
you are
so-
flying.
I will be rolling for Parker for a bit.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Time to pull up my advanced dice roller.
I could
again.
also on the way back, I could just drop some acid on some of the undead before just fucking off.
Now that will likely get you spotted, regardless. It will get
Yeah.
them all looking up, so
I was
it
thinking,
will
I
rile
have a
them.
couple scrolls of Dimension Door, so I could just like drop some acid on a bunch of them and then poof 500 feet away.
By the way, when you said they would all look up, I imagine that picture of Barry V. Benson just looking up at the ceiling.
So, Celira,
my
I am
God.
going to have you also make a separate perception check while you're flying.
Alright. Perception, I
Damn,
have.
if only you could have
I do have a couple
Ocularis
modifiers.
pocket size.
Pocularis.
Come on, I have a plus. What is with my rolls?
It's alright.
First, I rolled a 6 plus 8. Now it's a 3 plus 7.
So, Celira, you begin your long flight over the bridge, and you are thankfully, because you're very quiet at flying, and your dark clothing, as well as just the general things that your race is good at, you are very, very easy and safe above the bridge. Your flight takes you through what are generally pretty calm skies. Nothing is really causing any issues for your flight, and as you step over the bridge and kind of get a glance down, it confirms your previous sights. The bridge itself is probably it's a large step wide. The road itself, I'm gonna call it like, I want to say it's like 80 feet wide. Might not be fully accurate on the map just because props are fun.
While I'm flying over on the way there, could I do like a approximation of a head count? Like, I know I'm not going to be able to probably count every single one of them, but like,
Yes. So
try
you
and
can
get
do
a
an
good idea.
You can do an approximation based on their actual formation. And it seems like they're kind of walking around in squads of, you want to say, at the smallest, 25, like the band that you saw out here, and at the largest, 50 to 100, depending on the actual size. And the actual larger sizes...
of these sizes?
They basically make routes or rounds. They're like walking in big old groups in square lines, and they seem to be patrolling the bridge and the city. As you get closer and closer and you start to fly over the actual city, you can see them marching through the streets in these large groups. And there are dozens of the groups on their own, just from what you are seeing. The I keep trying to remember what it's called, but the Mayan style buildings are covered in what appear to be actual fires, things to light up the city. Like, there are still things that need that light going on, but you aren't seeing movement of what appears to be proper humanoids. You can spy the marketplace, you can spy the separate districts, and you can even spy what appears to be a large building near the exact center, towering high over the rest, that you don't personally recognize, but it towers multiple stories above even the tallest building next to it. And as you kind of turn around to begin making your way back after your long look, you haven't spotted what appears to be any sign of regular civilization. And so you will arrive back at 1 a.m.
But I guess I could probably address. Well,
I can't hear you very well. It sounds like you might be having some connection issues too.
God, come on.
Though it sounds a bit like might be mic issues, not a connection issue. But then again, that's just me.
Or it's my fucking computer acting shit, which is probably what it is.
I mean, it might be.
Say I might stick around and try to check something out, but
Okay, so what were you thinking you would like to check out?
am I still?
Were you able to hear me?
Yes, but like, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you somewhat. I'm catching everything in bits and pieces.
I may have to go like reset my router or something. I don't know.
You sound
It's
better
weird 'cause
now.
it's- Yeah, you sound good at the moment.
Well, I guess
And,
maybe try to check out the building, see if anybody's.
okay, so I heard check out and see if anybody's inside. And that was about all I caught. Do you maybe want to text it to me for a time while you're trying to figure out what's going on? Or like post it in the campaign posts?
Could also put it in the Roll20 chat too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. I keep forgetting the Roll20 chat exists, like always.
Just ignore the fact that I made some heinous posts in it. Don't worry about it.
Yes, same here. We're all guilty of it.
Okay, so we'll take a small break here. While Celira is gone, you guys basically are left alone together on the road.
Well, I mean, can't say that I'm too let down about current events. I mean, I feel bad for the people, but some people in this city I could care less about.
I'm going to. Dom, what do the shores look like?
The shores.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? Like, I might need a little bit more of a descriptor. Are you talking about the general environment or the
Like,
shores
if I
of the
wanted
actual...
if I wanted to perhaps walk along the shoreline, while Celira is out there scouting, would I need to roll any stealth checks by walking the shoreline?
If you gave it a wide enough berth, you wouldn't have to. Making your way all the way there will be a long walk. 2 hours on foot if you're doing a quick pace. Again, you guys are a good distance away so as not to be seen.
Does anybody want to come with me to the shoreline to maybe get? Because right now we are just coming out of like the thicket of the trees, correct?
Yes, you're coming from the largest of the towering jungle trees, and you're actually reaching the swamp. The swamp itself has plenty of towering trees growing out of it, sure, kind of in the middle of the water, but it's much less dense where the water actually is out here.
Well, we could do that, or we could
Oh, I'm supposed to add this to your
maybe-
thing as well.
Ocularis, if you wanted to come with me to maybe the top of one of these huge trees, maybe we can get a more clear view of the capital from our angle as well, or maybe get a better view of surrounding areas.
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
And
All right,
I can probably
I
sit-
can
I'll pro-
I can cast
Yeah.
Dimension Door as well.
Okay.
So basically, it depends on who wants to cast it.
I'm gonna be staying here, I guess, and keep an eye on and being a bit of a tank in case anything comes.
All right.
Stay here and watch the animals.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I guess on the way to the top, I will Dimension Door us up to the top of what I would essentially. I'm gonna take a look around and try to find the tallest tree I
Okay.
can, and get us to the top of it to maybe get a better view of surrounding areas.
Okay, so we're gonna get you. That's gonna take a good while to get towards the edge of the lake. And do you want to do that right here? Is that what you meant?
Well, no, the top of a tree, like
Yes.
a tall.
Dimension door to the top of a tree right here or nearer to the shore. I just want to make that clear before I
I
advance
think
things forward.
probably near one of the canopies we're at, perhaps.
Okay, so that will take significantly less time, but you won't be quite as close to the
Hey,
shore.
We can hear you.
Hey,
Do I sound okay?
I heard a bit of crackle. You might need to, like, I don't know, say something.
Sing the Johnny Test theme.
No, don't sing the Johnny Test theme. Do Danny Phantom if you have to do anything.
Hello, can you hear me?
That sounds
Yes.
much better.
Sounding
Much
great
better.
right now.
Mhm.
Maybe it was something with my microphone cord. I don't know.
Well, so if you guys are gonna do that here, you guys can certainly get up on top of one of the canopies. Granted, it won't give you as easy of a view on the surrounding area really close to you, but you could see the city from there as well.
Well, if I would prefer to get a surrounding area, so what do you think, Ocularis? Get to the top of one near the shore? Might be more spread out, but
Sure.
Okay.
Alright.
So-
then that's the plan.
You guys can take a quick jaunt over there while Kunj and Jen keep an eye on the cart. As for you, Solera, so you do want to swing closer to the large building, correct?
I have one quick question. How, like, in character, in game, do you use a scroll? Do you can you just like open it and like think real hard and it works, or do you have to like actually take time to read it?
I believe it is an action to use a scroll, and it requires the same verbal and somatic components to the spell, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check. Spell scrolls. Well, that's helpful.
Do you have like a scroll for Dimension Door? or
Yeah, spell
something?
scroll bears
Yeah,
the
I-
words of
I
a
have
single spell written as a mystical cipher.
5.
If
We
the
got
spell
all
is
of
on your spell list, you can read the scroll and cast the spell without providing any material components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible. Casting the spell by reading the scroll requires the spell's normal casting time. Once the spell is cast, the words on the scroll fade and it crumbles to dust. If the spell is on your class spell list, but at the higher level, okay.
Wait, I didn't know there was a whole bunch of shit about your spell lists. Wait.
Yeah, I always run scrolls as they are spells that you can use. If it has to be on your class's spell list, that seems a little bit much. But, you know, I'm not the one who wrote it.
If it was, fucking my internet wasn't just shitting itself all over the floor.
So what is the scroll?
Dimension Door.
Okay. So Dimension Door. That is a spell in the classes of
Says
Bard, Sorcerer,
Bard,
Warlock,
Sorcerer,
Wizard.
Warlock,
So
Wizard.
you would be able to no, it's not Artificer. So you would have to do it. It says it's unintelligible, but that seems godly silly because why would you make a and that seems really silly. Why would you have to use a scroll? I guess it means you don't have to use a spell slot.
I'm gonna see if it's just maybe
Yeah.
not listed. See if it's on the spell list.
Well, it's not listed as on the spell list when I check it out in 5e tools, so I'm gonna call it. I'm just gonna say you can use the spell scroll. It does seem really silly to me. If you can cast a spell, I'm just gonna say if you can cast a spell of that level, you can use the scroll. Because that seems
What
silly.
level is Dimension Door? I'm pretty sure.
It's pretty low level. It's like
It's 4th level.
yeah, 4th level. Well, that's not low
Okay,
level,
I
but
can
you know what I mean.
Cast 4th level spells.
You can?
Alright, well, I can, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So, and just to ask again, you wanted to move actually into the building, or just give it a closer flyby?
Not moving into the building, like checking through windows or.
Okay.
anything. Just you can see people.
So, doing a closer flyby, I'm gonna have you make one extra stealth check.
And Celera rolls a 1.
And I think it will still be an advantage because of Owlin.
And a frag grenade goes off in her pocket.
Oh, no, it's just
Why
it's
is
just
there
proficiency.
advantage on stealth?
No, it's just proficiency.
Okay.
I was misremembering. But that 17 is going to be enough.
I was gonna say if I have advantage on stealth checks, I certainly didn't know about it.
Yeah, I was just misremembering Owlin's, so that's my bad. So you make your way closer to the other building, trying to keep as quiet as possible. The very, very large building. You get to maybe like the middle floors, and you try to take a look into the building itself, and you can see what appear to be undead moving around inside. But you also spy what appear to be robed figures walking around inside as well. The robes appear from here. You can easily make out through the torchlight that they are carrying that they appear to be made out of natural materials. Things like plant fibers or otherwise like big large leaves, animal hides, things like that. But they definitely seem uniform in a way. And I will say, make me one final perception check.
Come on, roll 20. You can do it.
Monroe 20, you can do it.
Do
While we're waiting on that, as for Sebastian, oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh my.
Yes, so that is a really good thing. As you are peering through the windows, you catch light of what appears to be a banner, hand-painted on stretched animal hide in the shape of a circle. A plain circle.
Okay.
And
I
that's
imagine
that.
you're relaying all this information to us as
It would
you.
be fucking great if my Google Sheets could load so I could write all this information down. That'd be super cool.
You want me to write it down real quick?
Yeah, because my Google Sheets is just not loading.
Okay, so describe it to me one more time, Dominic, just so I can type it out properly.
Okay. So the banner is hand painted on stretched animal hide, and it is a simple circle, and that's it.
This is definitely many levels concerning.
With
As
hooded-
you
I'm gonna
are-
say with hooded figures, or hooded. Should I just say hooded people?
Hooded figures dressed in robes made of natural materials. And additionally, Celera, as you're flying away and you take one final glance at the large building, in order to not be spotted, you spot a gigantic skeletal appendage disappearing into a large chamber near the top.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Lovely.
Yeah, we're not going into the capital.
Skeletal appendage. Disappearing into where?
Into a large chamber near the top. It was unclear what kind of appendage it was. It felt... I guess the best way to describe it was that its motion was sort of fluid.
So perhaps an arm. How big would you imagine this is?
Probably the appendage would be lengthwise 4 times as long as Celera is tall. Ish.
Oh.
I'm trying. I don't know exactly how tall Celera is. I'm kind of just
I
going
think
off
that
of
would be
Outland.
about 24 feet.
Something along that
23 to
lines.
24.
20-some feet, based on height.
That's a very long arm.
It's a very long something. That's for sure.
So I just said Slayer spotted a large skeletal appendage disappearing into a large chamber near the top, lengthwise about 4 times the height of Celera, perhaps 20 to 24 feet long. Yeah. Well, that's
Yes.
scary.
So, do you have anything else you want to check out before I just send you on the trip back, Alex?
I guess I should just try and do like a full circle over the city to see if I can see anybody anywhere.
You've got a
Because,
pretty
like-
good look so far, making your way to the exact center, and you're not seeing, besides the robed people, you do actually, now that you've seen them in the larger piece, you can spy that some of the figures moving through the streets do appear to be dressed similarly, but it's very few. But you're
And
not
they're
seeing...
not being like accosted by the undead or anything. They're just walking among them.
They are walking among them, that is correct, and sometimes
that's-
interacting with them.
Yeah, so these undead are definitely being controlled by a group of some sort. That's without a doubt.
And I
at
think
this
the
point.
more important discovery here is that potentially, because I mean, like, I don't know anything about this country, but usually pretty important people live in the capital, and either somehow they've all managed to run off and hide, or they're all dead.
Yeah, it's kind of a devastating bit of information to be given that the entire city, like, for all we know, perhaps for what could be possible, the people themselves have been turned into undead.
Well, I think
That's-
Well,
before we go in there, we need to just head east, because I don't think
we
Like, the
should.
Sandworm base was one thing, and I believe Dominic said that was around 100 people.
At
This
their
is
highest ranks,
hundreds.
yeah, the Sandworm base, there were 100 people there because you guys hadn't taken out any of their
This-
outposts,
this
so they were
feels like
full
multiple
force.
hundreds of undead, and also potentially very powerful necromancers.
So I agree. We should. There's a reason
Yeah.
now. Ocularis and I
Yeah.
are scouting atop canopies to see what's going on. If we can see any other places around Rookrod. If
So I
not,
think I
we
missed
might
that
need
whole
to.
part. How did you guys move super far from where you were? Well, I guess you could tell me where you
So-
were.
No,
but-
Kunj and Jen
moved-
are the same place, regardless.
We moved to
Mhm.
here. That is not.
Yeah,
where
that's
I'm trying
no.
to ping.
They're talking like right here.
Why is my ping so far away?
That's
What the
weird.
What the fuckity fuck, Richard Nixon? I'm gonna
Well, then,
freaking.
I
So
guess
yes,
refresh
it's
my-
right around here.
After all that, I'll head back to the cart.
Okay.
Um,
So yeah, go ahead, Kunj.
Yeah, I think it would be best to maybe at least look around the place and see if we can find any life besides the undead. Just so we can try to hopefully figure out what's going on.
Well,
Or
On
get-
your
get
way
more of a
back-
picture.
yeah, on your way back, Celera, we're gonna switch over to Ocularis and
Do I
Sebastian,
need to
who...
make another stealth check for the way back too, or
No, I'll leave it at your original stealth check to keep out of the sight of the general troops. So, I'm so sorry, I gotta turn my
Should I
phone
dump
off.
acid on them is the question. No, that's not. It wouldn't be worth it.
I apologize. My phone is now off. Professional streamer. Anyway, Sebastian and Ocularis, you begin making your way through the undergrowth and the more and
by the
more
way, sword is
bogland.
absolutely drawn.
Yes, Sebastian, you are using your sword to kind of like keep on watch, and thankfully, as you're approaching the actual water, you can see movement out in the water, but not so much. You find a great tree that is pretty tall and has a decently sparse canopy that will give you a good view from below. So you guys are just
Okay.
going to dimension door up there, correct?
Yep, I will dimension door us up to the top.
Okay. So you guys dimension door, and I want y'all to make me a perception check.
Okay. Well, I will assist Ocularis in that regard.
Ocularis finally looks up from the book and
That
gets
was
a 34.
Who
Yeah,
needs
yeah,
assistant
No,
perceiving?
no. Make sure you roll that advantage, boy. You don't know. You could get a 35.
Okay.
It's so
Aw.
Sebastian kind of acts like an extra pair of eyes, while Ocularis, you take a look up from your book, standing atop this tree like the world's most badass librarian, and you take a good gander around everything. And you can spy, of course, this far up, the area of Lost Vale, kind of like a barrier of snow and tall peaks. And some of these mountain peaks are decently tall as well. So definitely there is some elevation to be had here. You can spy, of course, the main city. And taking a look through the main city, you see very small flickers of light, clearly the lit things that Celira was talking about during her venture. You see and spy, dotted around the coast, what might have been locations of smaller homes or settlements that have either been trounced on or otherwise destroyed. You look to the south a little bit as well, and you can catch a look at the river Veins. This is a place, I'm assuming you guys are all going to continue to kind of like communicate here. Kunj, you would recognize this spot in particular. This river is, of course, the largest river in the country, and it splits off into tons and tons of smaller rivers, hence its
Whoever
name.
named that needs to be punched.
Yeah?
The river Veins, that's gross.
Okay. You can spy from this high bit. Ocularis, you spot something way off in the distance, up in the mountains in this direction. It's just barely obscured by canopies, and you almost don't catch it. But it appears to be some kind of structure or ruin.
Okay, I'll
Can you
make a
ping
note
it?
of it?
Can you ping it again, Dominic? Because
Here, what I'll do is I'll mark it if I can get close enough on Roll20 to not accidentally make it bigger. Not possible, apparently. So I'm just gonna... Alright. Now, even this high up...
Oh.
I'm back, boys.
Hello.
Very loud.
Even this high up, the trees tower pretty heavily over this mountain, and a lot of it is obscured, but it does appear to be some kind of structure nestled in the mountains this far away. You can also spy further down the river, there appears to be some kind of set of buildings that aren't currently destroyed, and far, far off you can still see the coast and everything similar, though nothing much better from here.
Well, I guess that building is probably our best course of action right now. It's pretty far out of the way because it's up the mountain, right?
That one ruin is really far up the mountain. And it looks to be a
Okay.
pretty treacherous mountain too. It's really hard to properly get it with the way that this map software is, but it is really, really, really tall, really rocky.
Would you
Definitely will require
say-
some mountain climbing equipment, you think?
So,
Ah.
gentlemen, I
Or
put this in the
why?
chat earlier, but I assume not everybody saw it. We have the option.
No, I
does
saw,
anybody?
I saw it. but-
Okay.
I must have
just out of
missed it.
curiosity, does anybody here have invisibility?
I do and no.
I can cast invisibility on myself, and I think that's about it.
Because I am in the same boat as Cameron. I think it's too risky.
What's going on?
Because
Well,
while
my prep-
invisibility is good for sure, but it isn't a end all be all. But invisibility is really really good, and it gets you into more places for sure if you
My-
guys want to do more looking.
Well, my
I really
proposition
don't think
was
it would be worth it because one fireball's worth of area
One
is not
fire-
going
oh no.
anywhere near the bridge that is filled with undead is 8 miles long.
Well, I'm not interested in killing all the undead, just the necromancers.
And there's a lot of those spread
a
all
lot of
throughout
them.
the entire city.
Oh, are they all over the place? I might have missed that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any apparent area where they're centralizing, or like that they seem to have a headquarters?
The large central building, of course, is the headquarters, as Solera was relaying back. At the very least, it seems to be the largest congregation of the robed figures. Robed. Sorry.
I do want to say I want to avoid bombing things that we have no idea what they're capable of doing. Because it's possible that these people might have a way to either
Given-
track us for attacking them or just a way to counter
Also,
something you throw at them.
given what I saw, let's see, if that was its arm, and its arm is about like 20 to 25 feet. Usually, you're about like maybe 3 arms tall. Usually, so that means this could potentially be a 50 to 60 foot tall, like massive skeletanoid creature that they just have control over.
Could I do an Arcana check, or I think probably an Arcana check would be most accurate for this kind of creature, wouldn't it?
Let me.
Like, does this look like a human skeleton arm, or does it look like more like a?
He didn't catch
creature?
quite enough of it. I didn't describe it as an arm. I described it as some kind of appendage that he didn't
We
get
think
a
it's
good
an
enough look at to get a
Okay.
good description of what it was. Just that it had fluid motion and that it was around 20 to 24 feet.
It
But
could also be a
still,
tail.
A
That's
giant
also
skeleton-y appendage that is 20 to 25 feet long belongs to something that is scary.
That
That
smells
is
like
my point.
skeleton. That smells like a zombie dragon to me.
It's possible because we did see something fly from the gulag. Gulag.
Oh, that's
From
too
the
soon.
Gulag to Alaska.
Well, at least that means that if we die, as long as we can kill the skeletons there again, we'll be fine.
God,
Cock a
fucking
booty.
damn it.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Why are you goddamning me? You're the one who fucking started this.
Hey. The gulag is also a real place, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's go
Yeah.
on to.
I know that's
to-
not what you were thinking about. I know you were thinking about the fucking Warzone gulag.
so are you
I
guys
think
climbing down
it's
from the tree?
distinctly-
Oh, sorry.
I think the very likely possibility is I think Jamberman's probably right. It's probably a skeletal dragon of some kind.
True, I
Because
didn't even
we
think
did
about
see
that.
we did see a dragon-like creature or a large creature, which we assume to be a dragon, fly from Guliak to Alaska.
It's a Tarrasque with wings.
So the way I see it, based on what we've discussed so far, we have two options. Either we go around and try and figure out what the situation is elsewhere, or we go kaboom and then run away.
Which that I do not
I
think that
do
would
not
work
think-
long
Yeah,
term.
no, that is.
Yeah,
It's-
If
I'm
we
not
try to
sure
do
we
a
could.
full-on, if we try to do a full-on assault on this place without any sort of like assistance or like a fucking holy cannon or something, I think
Okay.
we are going to die
So,
because.
are you aware how much damage a max duration delayed blast fireball does?
Are you aware that?
Well,
Let's see
well, how
how
about
big
the-
of a
wait,
space
wait, wait, wait,
fireball
wait.
covers. Does
I-
that cover the
I got-
entire city, Parker?
I got a better
and the
idea.
entire bridge?
It doesn't have
since
to.
Jam-
It just has to take out bosses.
Well, since Jammin so wants to do this, he can go ahead and get himself killed. Then
If you
We'll
want to
just
do
head
it
out.
on your own,
I'm
go
offering.
for it.
I'm offering it as a
Well,
possibility.
yes, and we
because
said that we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we
Like,
told you no.
I know. It seems like you're
It's
being
too
very
much.
insistent about this.
It seems like too much of a risk to just simply go and start throwing spells at something we don't understand.
not spells, spell and then run away.
Plus, being a bard and knowing stories and lore, this would be a good time to point out undead of this level usually have phylacteries. So you
And
can
I
blow them
also-
up all you
I'm-
want, and all
yeah.
you did is kill them for the night.
And I'm sorry,
That's
I'm just
true,
going
that's
to say
true.
this now. Sure, a big fireball and running away would probably be very effective. That's not fun though. Like,
True.
if we take out this whole place by shooting a big fireball at it, running away and resting, shooting a big fire, like that's
No,
not
no, no,
fun.
no, no, no,
boring.
not at all. I literally just mean because we're already here, blow up some of the bad guys like the necromancers, make it harder for them to keep control over all these undead, and then run away, figure out what something else is going on while they're all having difficulty reorganizing.
I
Potentially,
don't
but
really think
potentially
that we
we
should
buy
just-
ourselves. My point is potentially if we do something like that, even if it doesn't take them down, it might buy us some more time when we're going to the next place before they attack another location. Because presumably they've been wiping out multiple locations before
Well,
now.
to me, it sounds like all that's going to
Actually-
do is let them know that somebody
Yeah, and
that
if they-
powerful is
if they
here.
do
It
have
does.
a
It does cause a
zombie
lot of
dragon
attention.
on their side.
That-
They may
Yes.
very well send it after us.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, if that whole place was on fire and that like creature was flying away, if that is a dragon, it was probably that burned the village down.
Mhm.
Hey,
Mhm.
so Gorilla, Cirilla.
Oh,
Sorry, Ben. I'm
That's
trying
Gorilla.
trying my best. I'm trying my best here. Basically, I do have a question though for you. Do any of the buildings that are not being occupied, are they also destroyed like the ones we saw in that town back there?
Hold on, let me think about it. Dominic?
No, none of the buildings in town are destroyed. These are strong stone structures. Again,
Okay.
again, Mayan styled. So they're thick cut,
Guys,
thick
Okay.
cut like French fries.
I'm
No,
about to put the tinfoil hat on.
Well,
Bukrod government did this on purpose.
Sebastian is just slowly pulling like
Okay.
a conspiracy board out of the
Well,
bag of
That-
holding.
I mean, yes, that is
Okay.
possible. I'm not
No, but-
going to deny that much. However, it could just be
Yeah.
the fact that, the capital city serves as great reinforcement.
Yes.
I
So
wonder-
to finish answering your question, by the way, before we get too far off of it,
yeah.
there are of course some areas that are more like rough than before. Likely, maybe there were some buildings that were knocked down or otherwise destroyed, but a large
Okay.
section of the city still remains standing. Likely because it is
So,
being occupied.
It's not
So-
literally
so-
flatened like fucking.
So-
Warrior.
Yes.
So
Oh,
then I guess
That's
I'll-
right. And before I forget, again, because you were supposed to see this and I forgot to mention it, you can tell that there are a lot of non-pre-built, like the wooden blockade that exists on this bridge exists elsewhere in the city. There are small blocks and little buildings like that that have been built up around the city that are clearly using refuse from buildings that were previously destroyed elsewhere.
Do they look like they were reinforced with the intentions of keeping things in or out?
Out. Definitely,
Like,
like imagine they're the style of like they're
Zombie barricade.
leaning
So-
like a zombie barricade. Yes.
So,
I'm imagining
from what-
that they built these themselves because, like, if it was the original people living in the city that built those barricades, why are they still up? Like,
Presumably because they all got killed.
well, yeah, but I'm saying,
No.
well, why wouldn't they take them down with their
Well,
unthinking army of zombies and skeletons?
Well,
They might just.
Why
be
would they need
using
to
it
if they
keep
already
other
killed
people out.
everyone?
there
Well,
is
why
a
would
good
they-
reason though. I'm curious
Convenience?
about the structure of the building.
Question mark?
There's a good. There's
Sorry.
a good reason why I'm so curious about the structure, the health of the structures, because depending about like how things went with this. I mean, is this weird that there's nothing in this town that we just visited, and yet that other? I mean, it might just got destroyed for the other one, but
I
I
just
don't
had
know.
an idea.
To be fair, you guys
Like,
arrived
maybe-
in
hold on.
Guliak as it
I
was
have an
being
idea.
attacked.
I have an
True.
idea of what could
But-
have happened. It's possible that the reason why Bornir doesn't technically exist anymore, maybe in a desperate attempt, because it seems to be right now very close to All Alaska. Perhaps that as Boromir probably didn't have any like defenses, maybe the townspeople here decided to take apart the buildings and try to use the resources in the
True.
wood from taking apart the
Maybe.
buildings to try to reinforce the capital,
But
which
I'm,
well,
I'm gonna
Kunj,
be
as
honest,
a
I'm hoping that's not it, because if that is it, that means that everybody's fucking dead.
So
It's just
Kunj,
so-
knowing the way that Boromir was set up, by the way, and I've gone ahead and added all this to the journal if you want to review it and such. Essentially, it is a collection of small businesses and residents, less its own actual functional government town, and more like a settlement created by the people who could not secure an actual place of residency or business in the main city. It kind of sprouted up as a pit stop trade for people who couldn't get into the larger city, because the city itself is essentially the hotspot for all of the tribes in here. In fact, I believe, Kunj, you would know, at the very least having been in there, about the 4 tribes. There is the Delmire tribe, there is Colm's tribe, there is the Slumbering tribe, and then there is the Closed Circle tribe that all got together in this city and signed a pact to not have aggression with each other anymore and open trade amongst all of the tribes. So this city is considered pretty sacred amongst the tribes, as well as very difficult to secure an actual place in. A lot of people who live here are people who are rich, they are influential, or good, successful businesses that have managed to keep their spot within the city, and other laborers who worked inside of it.
I was gonna
Why oh
say,
me? I wonder if the Closed Circle tribe broke that.
Well,
yeah.
either way,
I
that-
also
I
just
think-
want to say that we're spending a lot of time speculating.
Sure.
When
Yeah.
I
And that-
do
and
think
that
we
is
should
true.
just be heading east, because we've got 20 minutes till we're stopping here, and we've moved
I
like.
recommend
It's actually technically
then-
an hour and 20 minutes because we're starting an hour later than normal, remember?
Oh, I forgot.
So,
technically,
really
I
quick.
recommend we head to whatever
So-
this was.
Sorry, that was the only
or-
reason that I was like putting any like pressure on it, because I genuinely thought it had already been 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm like, this is
Yeah, we
done?
should. Instead of speculating, let's just find our answers.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
So,
I
Should
think-
head here,
Ocularis
Definitely
and
head
Sebastian.
along east. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, yes, Ocularis and Sebastian, you're dimension dooring back down to the bottom of the tree, correct?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So when you guys make your way back down to the bottom of the tree, near to the water, as you guys are kind of collecting yourselves to begin your travel backwards, you hear a splash from the water. And
Uh-oh.
as Sebastian, as you turn towards the water, you see a quipper jump out of the water in your direction. As it's about halfway, a quipper, a piranha, as it were. The quipper gets about halfway in its arc to you, and you're raising yourself to defend yourself from a nasty bite, and then out of the quipper's form comes a person. This person has relatively like tan skin, and they are dressed in tribal
Wait, so
garb.
The quipper
Turns
jumped out
into
of
a
the water
person.
and became a person.
Exactly.
Holy fuck.
And it lands in front of you, and it quickly rushes up to the two of you and says, "Hi, what are you doing? Why here?"
Hold on, I need to gather myself. Who the hell are you?
Through TeamSpeak, I tell them, bro, they just polymorph them. Yeah. You want to describe the person anymore?
The person itself is a young-looking, though clearly not a child, maybe in their late teens, early 20s. It appears to be a male, and he's, again, got tan skin, he's got brown hair, and he's dressed in what appears to be tribal garb. We're talking animal skins, as well as he seems to be adorned with small teeth along, like, some necklaces and amulets. Definitely the kind of tribesman you expect him to look like. That sounds weird. I don't mean it like that. But regardless, he approaches and says, "I am of the Delmire tribe. Why? Why are you lot here? This is
We
very dangerous. Death walks the land."
were aware of that. We came here to, well, investigate this undead problem. May have a connection to somebody we want to kill. Anyway,
No,
where did
no.
you come from?
Can't kill this many undeath. No. Need safe place?
Yes.
Sure.
You
Person
from
almost broken
you
English.
you from outside, or from big city, from Al-Aqsa?
Outside.
Way outside.
All right.
Far to the northwest.
Just you?
No, we have a group.
Yes. And he makes like a sound, and he looks over at the water, and he says, "Take to group. I take you safe. Come on."
All right.
And so
I
he
guess-
basically attaches himself to you, not like in a grabby sort of way, but he like stands right next to you and keeps motioning for you to like lead him.
Okay. So I
That's-
don't sheath my weapon. By the by, I'm gonna
Okay.
keep it out. Yeah, and I guess I'll lead him back to our group.
Okay, so it's the dead of night, and everybody kind of converges. I believe you guys would get there before Salira. So Sebastian and
as we get
Ocularis
there-
come back to camp.
As we get there, hey everyone, meet this guy.
He seems really nervous, by the way. Like, he's casting glances at the bridge in the distance, and he's sweating. And that's hard because he was in the water a minute ago.
Yeah,
Just
was
a
once a
minute
fish,
ago?
polymorphed from a fish into a person. So yeah.
Okay, well,
Actually, wait. How did they get back faster? Because I'm going from here to here. Weren't they here?
No, they were not that far. They were just over here. So their
Oh,
trip took them
okay.
4 hours there
Remember-
and back, and yours was coming 6 hours there and back. So there's about 2 hours while you guys are hanging out waiting for Salira to return, and she's relaying all of this information to you guys. And you do finally get back again, pretty late into the night. With the extra time, so let's see, you guys were here at about 11 o'clock. Excuse me. I know, so it's 4 hours, get back at 1 a.m. So it'll be about 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm just going to say, will be 2 a.m. when you guys arrive back. And, so yeah, Salira, you land, and everybody is kind of there, and there's this nervous-looking tribesman who is there with them.
See you lot made a friend while I was gone.
What's your name, lad?
My name is, oh god, where's his name? Sorry, I have to find his name.
Hold on. I think I forgot.
My name is...
Check my notes.
My name... Shut up. My name is Malik. My name is Malik. I'm of the Delmeyer tribe.
Fantastic to meet
Oh,
you,
you
my
want-
friend.
one of them. Fun.
Oh, is this
You have a
all?
place you. Yeah, there should be all of us, but you have a place you want to lead us?
Yes. Ooh, you have horses. Better. Climb up. I will direct. Follow road south.
Okay. All right. So I guess yeah, mount up. Follow him south.
All right. So, following his direction, you guys begin making your way southward, and it is a long journey through the jungle. He seems to be keeping a decent eye out, and he does a little bit of letting you guys know when there's like wildlife around. He seems to be very in tune with the area. And as you guys kind of get to about here, he tells you to veer off and start making your way down into the actual forest towards the river veins.
He is definitely leading us to this cluster of buildings we saw.
Yes, indeed. So, your total travel is going to take you about, let's see, it will be another 8-hour travel, and it is a long journey.
I would ask then we do some sleep shifts. as we drive
Absolutely.
this.
You guys can sleep shift it out and make sure that everybody is taking turns driving, and you guys can get some rest.
here. So, since we're taking a long rest, I do want to ask about this as something I didn't really think to ask about before. The experimental elixirs things say that they last until the next long rest. So, do you want me to just re-roll that every time there's a long rest, or should I
I have
Yes.
to use the restroom. I'll be
be
right
able
back.
to keep them if I want? You just want me to re-roll
You-
every time?
I believe if it says that they last until the long rest, you will need to re-roll them. Yes.
Alright. Here we go.
Okay, and before I say what I'm about to say next, you guys are going to be arriving at this area at 2 p.m. On this day. So it's the 6th now. You've been here a couple of days. There is a lot of ground to cover in this gigantic jungle country.
Hmm.
And sorry, I'm supposed to wait till Cameron gets back before I make it any further.
Need to
I'm just gonna
check
casually
list.
play Welcome to the Jungle, but bard version.
Welcome to the jungle. We take it day by day. The undead are attacking and carrying our buildings away. Carry.
Let me see how good I do on that.
Hey,
I
Dominic,
love it.
stop talking.
I did
True.
okay.
God, fucking I need to just take a screenshot of the experimental elixir table because 5e tools load slowly when my internet is good.
Immigration.
True.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I will wait just another minute before we get to what this guy's gonna talk about while you guys are driving. Yeah, we'll see how long this takes, Cameron. So I guess if you guys have anything you want to talk about or do,
Sorry about that, everybody.
well,
I have
the
returned.
minute I said that,
Fucking
God.
final.
the minute I fucking said that, okay. So as you guys
What
are
did you say?
traveling, you guys are going to be arriving at the Delmire
Okay.
Tribes area at about 2 p.m. But during the ride, you have plenty of time. Do you have any questions that you want to ask this man? Do you have any questions that, or do you want to let him talk to you? Like, what would you guys like to
You know
do?
what? I'll just ask straight out. So, the capital, has it fallen completely? Everybody there dead?
No, not everyone dead. Fallen. It still stands. No, you mean is it taken? Yes, they took the big city. They took Al-Aqsa with the big force of the dead. But
You
some
did that.
some escape. We helped escape with us. We are sheltering some people within our tribe, and other tribes are sheltering somewheres too. Largest settlement of refugees is far, far south. You call it Somber Coast? Town of Delta's Watch. Delta's Watch, yes. And
Oh,
so
no.
this does ring true for you, Kunj. You are aware of both of these locations, so I will mark them for you. Way down here.
I know right where that spot is.
Delta's Watch, Kunj, you know, is a pretty... It's a pretty good coastal settlement. One, again, of the few that exist that were not run by the tribes. Let me just grab it for you. Essentially, this whole, this thing is called Delta's Watch, obviously, because it's set up near the delta of the river veins running into the sea. A few things that you know about the Somber Coast is that the climate here is almost different to Rukrot in such a way that it almost feels like stepping into a different area. The foliage and vegetation is a bit different down here, and you've heard rumors that even fey creatures occasionally have been spotted down there, but there have been no confirmed reports.
I am saying this all the stuff to the party as well. The important-
Yes.
When we go down there, do not give anybody your name that you can't confirm is not a fact.
The dead don't go that city.
So
They don't.
Kunj is Goon just
That's
gives
suspicious.
the bird a look, being a fae himself.
Hell, man.
Well,
That's definitely suspicious.
do you have any other questions that you'd like to ask him?
Yeah.
It's not like the undead can't access it. Like
It-
the terrain isn't difficult to get there.
No, easy get there. Road very, very simple, and down there, probably safest place in country. And yet, they don't go. I mean, there is Sick Village to the west, but not big, not in way.
Have you been down there yourself, or know anybody who has?
Tribe head, chieftain has been down to Delta's watch, and we not to village. We stay away from that village, but Delta's watch have been to check on a few of the refugees, shuttle a few down the river.
And nothing seemed out of place about
No.
down there.
No, as it has always been, according to the chief.
Well, either that means there's something hidden, or perhaps they're specifically told not to go down there.
Well,
And in the best
The only
case
other thing that I
scenario,
would
Delta's
ask
Watch
is-
has a way to repel undead. That's
But
best
the
case
only other thing that I
scenario.
would think to ask is, we saw a large shadow flying over earlier, and just not too long ago, a large skeletal appendage. Would you happen to have any idea what that's about?
Death of the
Large
Sky.
flying skeletal creatures.
Death of the Sky. Have not seen it. Always flies at night, only when it's hard to see. Very, very large. Passed over us once, but we keep lights off. Don't think it knows we here. If it sees, we can always hide in the water.
That's going to be fun to deal with, I think. Ugh.
It does not fly all the time. Occasionally. No pattern though. From what we've seen.
So
Well,
it
if we're going
seems
to
to
try
fly
and-
around at random.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe,
Didn't mean to-
perhaps. We focus on trying to stay alive, you see. Not exactly strategists, I think you call.
Well, if we're actually going to try and figure out what's going on here, and more accurately put a stop to it, I have a strong feeling that that's something that we're going to have to be dealing with personally.
You will take on Death of the Sky? You are crazy.
If we have to.
Well, we've done some pretty crazy things before.
Well,
You know what, let's see, what was it exactly again?
Would you believe us if we told you that it's not the craziest thing we've done?
maybe. You all crazy enough to
Go
be
on
here.
over the fucking ingredients list.
Far out question.
Okay. The Phoenix Dragon remains. Are those like, definitely visually strange, like not normal,
Yeah.
or do they just look like dragon bones?
They are essentially dusty feathers and bones, really sturdy bones, mind, that you've kind of like collected together, and they are like a mishmash. They do look strange, especially if they're a collective thing.
Well, I guess I'll try to fish out whatever the most like, I guess, dragon identifying piece looks like. I don't know. I thought maybe they were more distinct than just feathers and bones, but
No, it was a pile of ash that you had collected. It is not that distinctive beyond the feathers. And as you pull out the feathers in specific, he shakes his head and says, "No feathers. None."
I have a. It's very unlikely, but I have a question. I feel like I need to ask.
Yes?
You heard anything related to chains? The sounds of chains?
Chains. He takes a second to think. Like he's trying to think about it. Oh, chains. Like a shing 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 shing, that kind of thing?
Yes.
No, have not heard chains. Sometimes marching skeletons and dead, they carry chains, but I can see them. Not just the sound.
And I guess then, you seen anything, I don't know, like portals of any kind?
Maybe ask Chief. Chief, she was in city when it was taken.
All right,
Mm,
then that's who I want to talk to.
All right.
Same here.
Any other questions before you guys actually make your way into the camp?
That's all I got.
we should probably save any further like extreme interrogation because that's just some guy from the tribe, and we're just kind of like laying all our questions on him.
So you guys begin making your way, and he actually shows you a way that you can cross the river with the horses in the cart. It does take some effort, but you do manage to do so, and you make your way towards the area where their buildings are. They're raised buildings over what is a wet bit of land, and so you have to park the carts decently far away, though he does say you can bring the horses closer. So if you guys want to hide it, it is within view of the area. It's just not advised to bring it so close to the actual buildings, because there's water running underneath them and muddy, marshy land.
All right. Well, I guess, yeah. Cover the carts in various foliage then. So
Okay.
Sebastian will take some time to cover the carts in like big leaves, vines, whatever he could find.
Malik will help you too. He sees what you're doing, and he actually gives you a few pointers on good camouflage.
I listen to him.
Okay.
Throw the robe of scintillating colors over it.
As you guys make your way further into the actual set of structures, it definitely appears like a widespread area for sure. And it definitely looks like a fairly decent sized tribe. But even as you're climbing up onto the like little boardwalks between houses, you can see that there are people, regular humanoids. You see humans, half orcs, half elves, of varying degrees of like pedigree, dress, but they're all very dirty, and several of them seem like lightly sick, and they're being tended to, and they look like they're waiting for something. You can see that there are boats that these people are currently using to go up and down the river. They look like little fishing boats, as it were. And Malik takes you to a large, like, central hut. And it's, the doorway isn't an actual doorway, it is a set of beads, and they're made of what are clearly, like on his amulet, quipper teeth. And as you push past them and make your way inside, you find a large, like, central area where there's some bits of storage. There aren't many bits of furniture, and more or less everything is laid out on the floors. Things like animal hide rugs. There are some fire pits that are set up carefully with a hole in the ceiling, etc., etc. And you can see, and he gestures to her, a woman who is fairly tall, and she appears to be, unlike him, who is actually just a human, she appears to be an elf. And she is tall, again, and wearing similar garb, though she has a gigantic number of necklace beads of quipper teeth on her. Otherwise, her dress is fairly similar, and she wears bright, colorful plants in her head, like her headdress or her headwear. Let's see. She also has fairly tan skin, likely due to the area that she does live in. And as you approach, Malik kind of like causes you to pause. He walks up to her and he whispers to her, and then she turns around and approaches you. And she makes her way over, and she just kind of like, she has a really good disposition to her. She's very calm. You can feel this aura of authority around her. And she says, "Hail, friends from outside. I am glad to see you safe after entering such a dangerous territory."
Sebastian will reach his hand out for a handshake to introduce himself.
You can tell that it's not a practiced motion, at least not as much as you would expect somebody of normal what is the word I'm looking for? Normal circumstances. But she does recognize it, and she reaches her hand out to kind of a little robotically, shake your hand.
I'm sorry to
Shake
say,
hand.
I'm just imagining because it sounds like she was, fairly eloquent there, with her comments. So now I'm just imagining that like it's not because they're out here in a tribe or whatever. Just that one guy kind of ain't that real good at speaking.
Uh, she does appear to have at least a better air around her than the rest of them, and for somebody who, as he mentioned, was in the capital city, it's likely she got around a lot more, maybe as the chief. So,
Well-
Malik tells
Oh.
me you are here to investigate the death that plagues our land.
Yeah, well, yes. And if we can, solve it for good.
Solve it
They
for
wouldn't
good.
call us. They wouldn't call us the ridiculous 7 for nothing.
The Ridiculous Seven. It is quite a ridiculous name.
Yes.
You'll have to forgive me if I don't recognize it right away. See, as you can probably tell, relations have not been great amongst the other countries in here, considering this is mostly the dead walking these days.
It's quite
Well,
a depressing sight.
How
Yes.
long has this been an issue?
I would say just slightly less than a decade. The original attack on the capital happened, I want to say almost 8 or 9 years ago. Something to that extent.
Wow, that is a lot longer ago than I think. I thought this was
My
when
lord.
we heard that we got word that there was a undead problem in fucking Rukra. I thought it was something like had just happened.
It had not spread as much as it has now. It's taken them some time, a long time, to slowly take out all of the settlements, strip them of all of their resources, and bring them back to the central city. These things take quite a lot of time, and we aren't entirely sure if they're biding their time, but I digress.
I
Guess
mean,
that would explain why when I did my little flyover of the city, I didn't see a single soul that wasn't in robes or made of bones.
Ah, yes. A lot of them a lot of them had to flee the city. We took with us as many as we could as we were escaping. And we have been trying to shuttle the refugees down to the safer spots in Delta's watch, and ever since then, it's just been slow, daily survival. The only other place I know that has any safety at all is Allegiance Rock, far to the east.
Well, I did have a question. This would definitely confirm a lot of things for me. But have you heard the sounds of chains when you were in the capital?
Chains. Well, I mean, chains aren't exactly a rare sight around there. Various bits of equipment make those sounds. I wouldn't say I heard. Then again, she kind of like pauses to think for. She pauses to think
Oh.
for a small moment. When the attack initially started, I was indoors, but there was a change in the light outside, and I thought I might have heard something similar, and perhaps I passed it off as something I was hearing from elsewhere, something normal, as it were. But I can't say for certain.
The Hinselitis chains, they are like a ghostly purplish color, right? Or am I misremembering?
That's correct. They themselves look like chains. They are like steel black, but they are emanated and wrapped in purplish ethereal light.
Okay, the chain dust, would that be like recognizable as like that's the material that those chains are made out of?
A small miasma of the like the purplish energy does exist within the vial or little jar that you have it in. So yes, it kind of exists.
I might as well pull one of those out and like careful. I imagine this have these particular ones sealed up, very tightly, but like
Mhm.
carefully try to show her the vial. Wouldn't have happened to see anything like this in, well, I guess the last 10 years, would you?
Hmm. It might just be the time of day at the time or other things, but that color is slightly familiar to me. Perhaps that was the color that had flashed on the day of the attack, but
Well,
I can't tell you for exact certain. As I said, I was indoors.
well, that locks me down here until this issue is solved.
Is that
Well,
so?
You say that, Sebastian, but were we leaving either way?
No,
I mean,
it just
I'm not.
reinforces the fact that I'm staying here no matter what.
Well, I was definitely not leaving until I got some answers and find some people.
Oh,
I
shit,
see.
Drew.
I see. So there's personal business here. That might have been that might take a while to fix up, considering.
I grew up around here.
Oh,
We'll
you
just say.
did? Was it in one of
Yes.
the smaller settlements or in the city?
It was a city.
Oh. Well, I am very sorry. I know not
Yeah.
of who you are thinking of. Perhaps they made it out, but a large number of people from the city did not. So I can only pray for that
Well,
person's safety for you.
if I do find out what happened, either way, if this is Hensley's doing, that just adds more. It just gives me more hatred towards him, I guess, than there already
Icing
was.
on the cake, as they say.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have any idea where this started, or any signs of where they could have come from in the first place?
it had to have been directly within the city. I'm sorry, but it was instant. The dead began pouring out of doorways, out of the ground inside of the city, like it was coming from the cisterns and tunnels below. It was instant. Many people lost their lives fairly quickly, and I only was able to get out thanks to my tribe's very special gifts.
I'm guessing that gift is being able to turn into the fish, right?
So I'm assuming that Malik was showing that gift off to you when he met you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's just say he surprised me.
I suppose for an outsider that would be surprising. But all of our tribe are born with the gift ever since our very, very furthest back ancestors. We were born of the river veins and the row of the quippers, and as you call them, and we continue to share their forms, at least in some semblance, uh, as we've moved through generations.
Interesting.
Now,
Hmm.
I do believe Malik already said something along the lines, but better to get the words directly out of your mouth. Well, sorry. You say he said that you've recently been down to, or well, not recently, but down to Delta's Watch, and
Ah,
also that the undead seem to be avoiding it. Did
yes.
anything at all catch your attention as to why that would be?
That area, the as it's called, Somber Coast amongst all of you, um, it's it's strangely left alone. I went down with one of our boats, funneling refugees slowly down the river, to visit the settlement, and it's not particularly reinforced, though there are some battlements that have been set up. It was a quaint little place, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I had been down to that area many a time, both with my tribe and to visit others, and nothing has changed for quite a long time since I've been down there. I've seen all sorts of strange things in that area for sure. Flora and fauna I don't recognize, animals that don't tend to wander too far and stay within there. The climate feels a bit strange down there to me, but nothing
So it's
strange
not,
at all since I've lived
it's
there,
not even just
lived
that the
here.
undead won't go down, but the things native there don't tend wander out either.
They've never tended to wander out. A few of the stranger creatures that I have seen, they tend to just stick to their bounds. You could almost call it a line of sorts, but it might just be a territorial thing. I tend to stick to the creatures that are around my tribe and the ones that we use for, well, hunting, trading, and the like.
Hmm. Okay.
Trying to think about what our next move here should even be.
Indeed,
I
I'm
have
feeling
one
the
last
same.
Question. I have
Oh.
one last question I can ask.
Go ahead.
We spotted a building atop of a mountain or being approached by Malik. Do you happen to know what that building is? And I'm going to point to the mountain that we were talking about, whether or not we can see it. It's off a bit northeast from here.
Ah, that's in the territory of the slumbering tribe. We
I'm gonna
tend
run on a bathroom break. I'll be back in just a sec. Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
That is the territory of the slumbering tribe, and we tend not to go there very often, especially since the attack on the capital. All of the tribes have been unable to work together, despite efforts. No, there's too much animosity, and we have to look out for ourselves in these trying times. I know not of this building that you speak of. It might be worth asking at their tribe. I'm certain they won't attack you on the way, but they are definitely on edge, as we all are.
Are you
That does
aware of their
remind-
status?
Oh, Chad. Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead, Alex. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say that does remind me, because I believe Doug said that Kunj was relaying what he knew of
Yeah.
the area, like when he went through Bormure.
Yes,
You mentioned all that. So, what it was the closed circle tribe, right?
that
That
is
was
one
called?
of that is one of the tribes. Yes, there is the slumbering tribe. There's us at the Delmire. There is Colm's tribe down on Colm's Peninsula, and of course there is the closed circle tribe. Though we haven't seen much from them since this incident.
Well, see, that's what I was wanting to say. As like I said earlier, I got a very close look at the capital. And she's just gonna like flap her wings a bit as an example.
Oh.
Didn't just walk right through the door, and within the main building, that dozens of those robed figures walked, and as I'm thinking about it, their robes, I believe you said, Dominic, were like made of leaves and plants and stuff.
Plant
like
materials and animal hides, yes.
Yeah, like very naturally forged materials. They had banners hanging in the halls and rooms of a simple, plain circle.
She kind of like rubs her chin a little bit, and she seems to think back. That definitely does sound like some kind of tribe. And you say they were
Oh.
robe-like with hoods, which they were.
Yes, they had hooded robes that were made
Would-
of just
Go ahead, Doug.
platinum animal hide.
I was just thinking that would Kunj know what the different tribes' symbols or so?
None
Or
of the
be
tribes
aware of-
have actual symbology, is the thing. At least
Okay,
as far as you've
okay.
seen.
They don't have a flag.
Mm-mm. They're mostly
just-
identified by dress, and as you can tell, she's trying to think of whether or not that dress matches the closed circle tribe. And
Because
I will have to
I-
admit that the closed circle is, well, as their name may suggest, a bit of a reclusive tribe. They've only ever really come out to help the village, Sickly Village, to our west on occasion, and that's not very often. They would maybe show up once a year.
Would that
Would you
village be
know-
Guliak?
No. It's a village very small in the hills directly to our west. Will you show me your map again?
I'll sprawl it out.
Okay, so she
Thanks.
points on the map directly.
I've added a marker on your map.
I'll mark it on your map. Right here.
but yeah.
This
I could
village,
probably-
since they're very small, but ever since we've heard from them and we tend to stay away, they've been sickly for a long, long time. Some kind of sickness spreads from somewhere nearby, and occasionally it touches the village. Apparently, the Close Circle tribe reaches them occasionally to try to assist, but it's not something that has been wholly dealt with, and since they haven't shown up in the last 10 years, the sickness has spread much more heavily throughout their settlement.
I'm back.
That's definitely somewhere that we should make. Although I would also like to ask, while Sebastian has the map out, I don't know if you say they're very secluded, but do you know where they are? Were living?
Well, as for where they are exactly, nobody knows. It was part of the original treaty, you see. The Closed Circle's only demand upon agreeing to a truce with the rest of the tribes was that we not know exactly where they were based. But we have good eyes in the water, and we think that it might be somewhere in this area up here, to the northwest.
So up here somewhere?
Can you see my pings?
No.
I can't
Nope.
see your pings, no.
That is weird.
Can
What
you
if I
see
do
mine?
it? What if I do it here?
We're hanging right
Like
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
but
there.
in a
there it is.
viscerally area.
every
So
time.
yes,
Oh, that's not that.
yeah. It's around this, and she like makes a big circle with her finger. We think that that might be where they're based. We haven't found any, and due to the truce, we don't want to encroach on their territory. Though for now, it seems that the truce is gone.
Wow.
Well,
Personally, I hate
we're
to go
not
Then we're not
involved in
bound-
that
folk-
truce.
We're not bound by any truths.
I suppose that's true.
I said, I hate to go just accusing folks that I don't even know anything about, but not wanting anybody to know where they live, not being seen since the capital city of this country was taken over by undead, and what would most likely be a symbol that matches perfectly to the name of their tribe, it's not looking very good for their innocence.
I would agree with you. I've harbored doubts about them myself for some time, but without having seen any of them since, it's hard to confirm my suspicions. We we have tried to make our way towards the capital, but it is even in our smallest forms, in our most innocuous states, we can't actually get close enough. It would be far too dangerous, at least for a small band like us. If only we had still had the truce, perhaps we'd have a chance, but I think we're all far too shattered at this point. Maybe even there aren't enough of us left to fight.
All right. Well, we have multiple different places to investigate. One, we
Yeah.
could come up. We could immediately start off by investigating the area up here and trying to locate where they originally were based,
Yeah.
or still are based somewhere around there, or wherever. We could visit this strange building over here, or we could visit this village that, Dom, you said was covered in
Nice.
disease.
She calls it a sickly village. Yes.
I was gonna say my personal preference or suggestion would be going from this tribe here to here first. Okay, it's not getting marked very well because of my.
I might guess. Are you thinking it's like this direction and then going up here?
Yeah, go to the tribe, or not the tribe, the village, and then go up towards the area she pointed out as being potentially where they were, because both to see if we can fix or at all do anything about what's going on here, but also if they were being visited by the Closed Circle tribe, then they might have some more specific idea about where they might be. Like just like heard any whispers from Cameron.
No, I'm doing
you
it.
go?
So it's about a 64-mile radius that we have to investigate. Or 64
It's
miles.
it's
around.
of good size.
That is a mountain.
Yeah, with a mountain
Yeah,
too.
so then
yeah,
I think that we should head over towards the sickly village first.
Yeah, that
going
seems like
to-
a good plan of action. Now, when it comes to Delta's Watch, if they're not getting attacked by undead, I don't
I
think
wouldn't
that
call
needs
them
to
a
be
priority.
high on our priority list.
Mhm.
Since so again, I'm going to put forth best case scenario, like that I propose that all it is that they have a way to repel them. If that's the case, then we don't need to spend our first time investigations, down there dealing with that.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this would be a best case or worst case scenario because it's usually hard to know with them. But I'm wondering if maybe this whole situation might end up in making a pact with the Fae.
Yeah, because they did
Because
mention that there were
if
fey creatures being
if
spotted.
if this area down here is like littered with Fae creatures, and that just happens to be the area the undead aren't going to, that seems like a pretty solid case for they don't like the Fae.
Mind you,
That's
it
also
is
true.
just
we should
rumors. Nobody, again, has any confirmed
yeah,
reports
but
of them, but there are rumored
I mean,
sightings of
we can't
Fae.
make,
Dismiss it
make
as
a
a
pact.
possibility.
Yeah, we can't make a pact with people we can't find, so it's just something I think would be worth checking out. Or I mean, we could try and see if we find one of the skeletons. We can try to have Kunj like touch it, like on the face, and see if it starts screaming, and then we'll know.
So I don't know why I did a circle with the thing, but these areas, it seems like there are pockets of these brownish foliage all over the
Oh
place.
yeah,
Okay, mind you, some of those are just design. Like, I don't
Okay.
mean for these to be like super
So
distinct
the
as like
brownish-
dead areas or Fey areas or something like that. It is
So
just
is it
kind
like-
of map
is it the
design.
whole
The sea serpents
southern
on maps are not literal.
coast
Unless you want
of,
them to
well,
be.
like,
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
but here is the whole southern coast of this place the area that's rumored, or is it just like
Oh,
this area?
it is I'll just kind of like no, give me the thing. It would be like this area is what's known as the Somber Coast.
Okay, so you're right. Okay, and it's
So the
just the
Somber
somber
Coast.
coast. It's like, so not over here. There's no similar.
Over
reports
here,
of
and
Fae.
I guess I should just reveal this because again, Kunj would be very very well aware of the way that most of these areas are. So Kunj, you know this area is Calm's Peninsula, and this area is the Shining Coast. Those are the most distinctly like labeled areas around Rukrot. So just kind of give
But
you an
point
idea.
being, there are no reports of wandering Fae in this area.
No,
Just
Calm's Peninsula is essentially, well, it is a peninsula, but to describe it from from Kunj's mouth, really, Calm's Peninsula is basically named. He would know that it's where the Calm's tribe is, and both the tribe and the peninsula are named after a wanderer who worked with the tribe long ago, and it is essentially it's a pretty bountiful place, really close to the sea. And the old tales go that like the tribes down there, before becoming one unified tribe, were just fighting over the resources rather than making the best use of them.
Okay. So then I think I agree though. In overall, I agree with Celera. We should head here. Whoops, that is the wrong.
Head to the sick
thing.
village first.
Yes, because then we can pretty safely. Because if we get evidence of the Circle Tribe and get to know them a little better here, that may help us in locating where they might
Point.
be. We might find clues of where they
also
exist.
thinking
they
if,
are.
like, over all the time beforehand, if anybody who lives in that village ever heard like a whisper from the tribes people about anything.
Or in best
know.
case scenario, we find a guy and steal his memories.
That's true. We could do
Do
that.
that?
Yeah, Kunch.
Yep, we can.
Oh,
Mind
forgot
Flayer
that-
changeling here.
Forgot that we can steal memories. Okay. Well, anyway. So yeah,
I could-
Stealing is a strong word. We borrow memories for
I
our
could
own
also-
uses.
I mean, when it comes to anything Pacific, I could also just draw out whatever you like. If you let me have your memory, I can draw it out and show the person.
Borrowing without permission.
Well-
yeah, borrowing without permission.
Okay, everybody on board? We're heading to the sick village.
I think so. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think-
the best course. I think
that
I'm
way.
gonna say, my goodbyes, or
Ah,
we're off
yes.
to investigate. Then we'll see what we find. And is there an easy way that we can contact you?
you can't exactly contact us very easily unless you were using some kind of magic. But if you're ever around here again, you can always feel free to call on us. You can consider the Delmeyer tribe an ally, if you'd like. If you truly are going to work to help this situation here, I offer you my tribe's full support, especially after seeing and hearing about what you've done and what you plan to do. If you need anything in here, in our town, then you can feel free to ask after it. Food, rest, we will happily provide it for you.
Well, we appreciate it, and I promise you that failure will only come from death.
Oh, and my goodness, I'm realizing I never properly introduced myself. My name is Chief Liliala, and I am, of course, the chief of this tribe. And you can ask for me
Sure,
directly if
did
you need
kind
to.
of, like, come into her house and start bombarding her with questions.
Dialogue option 2. I don't care. Give me info.
Now that she's technically our ally, we could go into her house and take stuff under the value of 25.
Oh, right,
Sorry.
true.
Oh my gosh.
But, also, I'm realizing now that how quick. Okay, so how Coon, you said that you can just take somebody's memory out and how do you say draw it out? How exactly is that?
It's how we got into Ballbinder originally. Is I was able to get the manuscript that we needed or whatever to get into Ballbot and just make a copy of the thing that we needed.
So
So-
you're
remember.
able to take something from somebody's memory and show like an image of it.
No, I would have to draw it out because unless they have the spell as well,
You
That
mean
would- that'd be-
literal drawing?
I would have to literally draw any symbols
Oh,
or
okay.
so
I
or
was
written stuff.
misunderstanding that 'cause I was
Like
the only
he's
way
like
they-
he,
wondering. I was
Yeah,
just
like he-
wondering if there would be a way to show her literally
Harry
the,
Potter-
Phoenix Dragon.
he Harry Potter pulls a memory out of their head.
He's never
Wait,
seen Harry
Alice,
Potter.
what was that last bit?
I was saying I was wondering if there would be if with that we could show her the Phoenix Dragon that we killed in the vault.
I mean, if you give me enough time and effort, I could probably get a very detailed drawing of it. But that's about it.
Yeah, but the drawing's a drawing is what I was wondering.
I don't
Yeah,
think it
I
matters
just
that much.
realized.
I don't think it's live.
I just realized something.
What?
We could ask her permission to draw her memory of the events of that night and see if we can directly see a correlation between the miasma
Well,
and
true.
what we could get a just clearer picture of what happened
Okay.
if with her permission.
Sebastian, that
the-
is an incredible bit of insight.
That-
And if you don't have one already, take a point of inspiration. That's a great idea.
So with that too, I'm wondering. So the memory pulling is not when you pull it out, it's not affected by like any like muddling that may have been done by time, like in the person's head. You get it like crystal clear. Like,
Debatable.
Or something like they forgot. If you
What is
pull
it
out,
called
would it-
specifically again?
Okay, so the thing that I'm using, I'm using encoded thoughts, but
Encode
I'm also
thoughts.
mixing in with detect. I'm mixing with detect thoughts because that allows me to specifically target someone's mind. At least with the spell encoded thoughts allows me to take someone else's memories. So
Okay, so detect.
I mean, I'm probably just
thoughts.
overthinking. I just wanted to make
Well,
sure that it wouldn't be
the-
like this decade-old
it's a-
memory that's fuzzy and
the spell itself is encoded thoughts. Detected thoughts I have to have
Yes.
with it in order to. Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm just reading up on it specifically.
Yeah.
But this could definitely help confirm some things.
Now, this would be muddled by any kind of like personal biases she has for that memory, but it would be a decently
Yeah.
accurate idea of what she was going through at that time.
And I can also compare it to my own personal experiences with Henselitis stuff and see if it matches up with what I witnessed.
Okay?
Unless
Do you guys
Sebastian
want to?
wants
I will ask
Awesome.
her then.
Okay.
Sebastian, you want to give me more of an example of what's that like?
Yeah. I will
Okay.
fully give you our memory of not only literally having a conversation with the asshole at
Okay,
the
got
end of
it.
season 1. So
okay, got it. Okay, well,
yeah,
I'll
do that.
be
So I will
okay.
ask her.
So
Liliana was her name, right?
Yes.
Chief
Lily
Liliana.
Allah, sorry, if you said
Liliala.
Anna. Lily Allah.
Chief Liliala. We have the ability to see into memories. Well, our friend here, Kunj, does. Would you give us permission to perhaps look into your memories and get a clearer picture of what could have happened?
If that is such an ability that your friend is gifted with, then I would most certainly be happy to let it happen. If it will help you solve the problem that plagues our land, then I see no reason not to. Just be respectful of an old lady's memories, would you?
Of course.
I'm
Kunj,
only
do that.
gonna just think about. Okay, well, I'm gonna be casting both, or be using both the spells to do their thing, and I will also tell her just think about that day, and that should hopefully give me a clear picture.
Of
I shall
course.
recall the day I called Hinselitis a bitch.
She snickers. She snickers a little bit. So as you go to do this, she assumes a bit of a meditative pose. She sits down on the floor and she seems to try to clear her mind. Many of the tribesmen who are in the room with you, including Malik, are watching on in genuine awe. Kunj, you perform the spell and begin to delve deep into her mind. And as you go to probe into her thoughts, you find her thoughts very, very calm. They are mostly exactly what's happening. I can feel the touch, I can feel the magic. And then when you go to probe deeper, she lets you into her mind and she begins to think about that day. You get a very clear picture of what she believes to have seen that day. She is sitting amongst several other members of what appear to be the other tribes around a large table, stone make, in this big the big central building. You wouldn't recognize the interior yourself, I don't think, directly, but Salira would recognize it if described to her, as that's exactly what she saw. You can see that there are tribesmen all around. You can recognize her tribesmen by their garb. There are many quipper teeth on amulets. It seems to be a big theme for them. There is a tribe of what appear to be better dressed people. Less animal hides and plant fibers, but more carefully tanned and woven clothes. There is also a tribe of, I hate to use the term scantily dressed, but it's because it's not exactly what I mean, but they definitely dress lighter than the other tribes, and they are adorned with branches. Almost think... oh god, this thought just entered my head. Tree Minder Chippendales.
Huh?
Okay.
Is that
All right.
And for those of you who played
Fallout
Fallout 3, no, they have just very light dress that are adorned with tree branches. And then there is a tribe of people with hand-woven plant fiber cloaks that are carrying staves on one side of the room. Amongst all of
Stabs are
them,
incriminating.
you can hear them kind of talking, and in her mind, she is getting everything very clearly. They're discussing current peace treaties, current trade between the tribes. You can hear two of the tribesmen kind of arguing behind each other, and one of the better dressed people is trying to keep the situation calm. Suddenly, there is a flash of light, almost like a lightning strike, and the color lingers for about 3 seconds. At the end of that 3 seconds of purple flash of color, there is a massive thud that shakes a large amount of the actual building. And suddenly, through the windows, through like the doorways, they start pouring in skeletons, zombies. varying different types. Some of them coated in muck, others looking like they're missing pieces. They just start pouring into the room. She begins running immediately, and alongside some of the other tribe members. Some of them stay back to fight, and includes, looks like the people with staves stay in the room, brandishing their staves towards the actual encroaching invading force. She bursts out of the big building onto the main streets, and she just begins running, and everywhere there are skeletal, not just people. At this moment in her memories, there are skeletal animals, which you don't remember seeing, Celera.
Skelegators.
You know what? Yeah, we'll say that she sees a skeletal alligator in one spot.
Skelegators.
She runs and runs and runs, making a break with her tribe members towards the bridge. One of them gets snatched up by one of the skeletons. She reaches out to them, but he's getting torn apart. It is a gruesome, grisly sight. The streets are filled with chaos, with blood, and with undeath. She sprints, taking a few of the other townspeople with her, and she hurries them to jump with her into the water. And it is at that moment that the memory will end. Because the rest of it essentially is them making their way through the water. She, as a quipper, in that moment, swims all the way down to their tribal spot, bringing with them as many
Certified
refugees as they
purple
can.
Flash is pretty incriminating.
Yeah. Do you want to
Certified
convey
Urkel.
that to the rest? Do you want to convey that to the rest of the party?
Yeah, I am conveying that absolutely 100%.
Can I do
so
an
then-
Can I do an Arcana check to gain some insight as to what might have happened, particularly involving that lightning strike?
You won't need it. From what you've seen, and especially as you all were fighting against the, why did I forget the Farkron? Yeah, his name is Farkron, the king's advisor. You saw that flash is almost certainly the opening of a rift in reality, the same one that the chains come through. But for it to be that bright, it had to be pretty big. The one above, the Old King Notwin, the one there was quite bright too, but even then, that size had to have been a large creature coming through, or large masses of creatures.
Well, if this was,
Yeah.
if this was all
I-
10 years ago,
I-
it might even stand to believe that Henzelitis might have been more powerful then. Or, of course, it's also possible that he's just choosing not to do any other undead full-scale invasions of countries. You know, one country is usually enough for most people.
Bro, he's an evil demon. He's not gonna stop at one country.
Well,
And
Sebastian,
he
that's-
hasn't. As you guys have seen, his influence has spread quite far. Balbots,
Sebastian
Bjorn.
then begins to think.
That said, it's interesting that he
Taunting-
hasn't
taunting a
used
demon.
this. Yeah, it's interesting that he hasn't used these tactics in other locations where we've been, though. It suggests that it's linked to whatever he deployed here, and he doesn't have unlimited undead resources.
Well, technically, he did try something similar to this in Fiore. It wasn't necessarily undead, but it was animated statues.
And it also might just be that, like, I mean, defenses here aren't as built up as they are in other places. They don't have like a. Does this place even have like a proper army?
So to kind of, well, if you're asking her that, the answer would be no. The tribes are the ones that mostly take care of everything. Warriors from all of the tribes basically work as.
with basically any defenses for this entire country being spread out in multiple places all across and not like, you know, concentrated in any one place. And
The
not
environment is
being
harsh
able-
enough. It is a jungle rainforest style environment with lots of hostile creatures, and the environment itself can be pretty hostile. So defenses, like an
it's not
invading
like
army would have trouble
skeletons care
based
about
on that.
how humid it is.
True.
Just had a thought. It's possible the reason why we haven't seen undead deployments in other locations might be because it's specific to like a lieutenant that he put here to take over the area for him. Because if he sent something through a portal, presumably he's got it stored up on the other side. So if he sent like a lieutenant with a bunch of undead powers, like I don't know, a Dracolich, for example.
That's true, because he
Well,
did do
I'm-
that in both Ballbot and in Fiorane. In Fiorane, it was Notwin. In
So
Ballbot, it was
as a bit of a
Fargrim.
reminder to what happened
He was
regarding
directly controlling
specifically,
them, wasn't he?
yes, specifically questionable. Okay, so in just to kind of like catch everyone up on what had happened, because I mean, I guess this is as good a time to do it as ever. When they were fighting Hinzelitis in season 1, Hinzelitis had his chains hooked into an old, ancient, awful king, a tyrant of sorts, and it's unclear how, but his tomb where he was buried was empty, and once the chain left him, he turned back into a useless corpse. In Ballbot specifically, you guys were even able to save the person that the chain was in when basically the chain existed, and once it was being severed and he was being defeated, the rift opened back up to pull it back through. Just to kind of give you that. But it is a good thing to call out, Parker, that this is a noticeably different thing than what you had seen before. We were talking in Ballbot more of a political person was being influenced in some way versus an actual kind of army of some sorts that's being used here. It doesn't quite match up just as perfect as it's like. The things that are happening in each area appear to be marginally different.
So what I'm imagining then is potentially if it does turn out that it is this closed circle tribe that's like all the robed people, I'm wondering if they actually made some sort of pact with Hinzelitis personally. So maybe instead of like controlling them directly, they just have some sort of power now, and
Or
that's how they're
perhaps they-
able to just like, walk among all the dead, the army of dead, and have apparently some sort of gigantic skeletal beast at their disposal.
Also, it would make sense that he would need more collaboration with people on this side in order to make a bigger rift.
True. He might
what's
just
up-
be a patron to some people, like a warlock patron.
I will ask her one question. I got a question for her. So, would the name Society of People mean anything to you?
Society of Peoples? No. I know not of a Society of Peoples. I apologize.
Well, figured. I just had to try, I guess, to see. Because I feel like they had some members around this area.
Members? Perhaps I
Yes.
could be some help if you would like to give me a bit more information. Perhaps maybe my tribe has seen something, or it has come up in one of the old meetings. Please, what is the deal with this Society of Peoples? What do they mean to you?
I'll just remind myself because it's been so long since I actually looked up the thing. On me, remind myself. If I remember correctly, they were essentially just, or from what we gathered, they were essentially just a group of very well off people. Can't remember, but they were just essentially a bunch of well off people that were very rich, very influential, and they apparently do slavery as well. Or have a hand in it. But I guess I remember all the details. So I don't have
Most of your details boil down to they are, according to what you were able to find out, the client that is attempting to assassinate you. You've not been able to find out much else than that. You can assume that they might be working around that line, definitely because of like slavery and all of that junk, underground people trading. It does fit the name of sorts.
Also, wasn't my ring that I have on me connected them as well? That's another.
I believe, yes, you did find through Hraxin, he discovered that the signet that you were using had only one connection, and that was to some kind of society of peoples, though he's not sure
what-
what.
Yeah, which the ring itself is a trinket that I got from the last thing I have of anything connected to my family, so parents, so, as an urchin. So that's that item.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I would give it. There were a group of people trying to assassinate me, and if I had to guess, it might be because they're part of the slave trade.
Slave trade. My God.
Yes.
I have heard that there was an issue in Al-Aqsa with people being traded, but I never believed the rumors myself, and it didn't tend to involve my tribesmen. Though perhaps sometime over the decades and centuries, some of my members had gone missing, but we always attributed it to natural causes or other such things. So it's hard to say, but I suppose that might have been a problem. I had heard rumors about people being traded around this area at
Well,
some point.
I just can't help but think that maybe in some way they're part of this as well. In some way.
You said that did you show her the ring? Is that what you were or were you just kind of like
Yeah.
thinking that out loud?
I guess I'll glad to show her it because I mean.
I was
mean,
mostly
look,
just trying to
worst case
confirm.
Okay, I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, we get assassins on us, and we can deal with them. We dealt with them before, so.
Well, she does take a
Um,
look. She does take a look at the ring if you did show her, and she says,
Yeah.
"I don't recognize this signet from anywhere, so I do apologize for that. And I hope that you can find the answers that you seek."
Yeah.
Well,
In which case, I don't believe any of this information changes our immediate goal, which is heading to the sick city or the sick
Mhm.
village, whatever.
true.
True.
So yeah, and obviously Kunj pulling. Just want to confirm, Kunj pulling Sebastian's memory of the.
Oh yeah,
original
that's
fight.
right. Was that something that you were
Yeah.
actually doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so I can, because I wouldn't know if this was the biggest one out of all of them until I got to see that portion, and then I could tell everyone that, oh yeah, this is the largest that I could see of this kind of case. So
But this is definitely like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is the same thing.
same thing, but this is the largest that of all the things I have that
Okay.
we're seeing.
All right. Well, that's that then. Our
All right.
goal is. Yeah, our goal is this mysterious diseased village.
Well, in that case, I wish you all safe travels. Oh, and here, as a gift from my tribe, and she produces a small little clay pot with a little lid, and she hands it over to it'll be Kunj because you guys were the closest.
Small pot.
Well, it's what's inside the pot that counts. Opening the pot, inside you find small, squishy little, squishy dark balls. It's fish roe.
Okay.
She gave
Specific-
us her babies.
Specifically, it's Quipper roe, and she assures you that it is not her children. She is not a Quipper. She can turn into a Quipper.
Ah.
That is funny though.
This isn't some weird, cross cannibalism.
So what you're saying, if you polymorph a person into a chicken and they can't lay
good.
eggs.
I don't think this is
Can you guys hear me?
an
Yeah, what's up?
ability of polymorph. I think this is
Oh.
something different.
Sad.
Just
No
saying
infinite
something, and
food
then
source.
Everybody else suddenly started talking, so I wasn't sure if I was muted or not.
Oh, that's good.
All right, sick. We got some
I don't
foods.
know.
Rick,
Good.
onwards
Did
to
we
the
just
sickly
eat? I don't know-
village.
I don't know if. I don't know. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Do we take the carts or not?
Yes. It's a long
Oh,
journey.
wait.
We don't want to do it on foot.
That's true.
I don't know if I shouldn't do this while we are, within sight of any of the tribe. But once we're like out of there, could I perhaps see one of those fish row
Sure, go ahead.
or quipper row?
Yeah.
Dominic, can I try to test it to see if it has any effects?
You can.
And if it does,
Okay.
you're
So go
really
ahead
happy.
and make me a check using your alchemist supplies. Whichever you believe is
That's the
best.
check.
They
Yes.
make a potion of instant death.
Hey! Without taking
Natural 20.
without using up the Quipper row, you find that it makes a minor potion of water breathing or a minor poison that drains dexterity.
Water breathing, you say? I wonder what inspired you
Well-
to make that effect.
I'm gonna
Haha.
give you the pot. I'm gonna give her the pot. Here, you can have it. This is up your alley.
Alright.
Spent too much time standing
So
on
the
waterfall
small
catching
clay pot-
salmon, have you?
The small clay pot contains 3 units of Quipper row.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Sick.
We can go scuba
Sick.
diving.
Go all the way to the bottom.
Sakuba.
Takuba.
Scuba.
Okay, so you guys are gonna make your way over to the Blighted Village. I'm going to ask, because we are coming up on the 3-hour mark, is everybody wanting to continue? Do we want to end off for this week? And I will leave it up to you if you guys want to do Fallout next week or P's and Q's next week.
Well, I don't think I need to tell anybody how I feel. I think it's fairly obvious at this point.
I will be beginning work again next week, so I do not know my schedule definitely as of next week.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, we can definitely plan to do Fallout next week with Cameron, as long as he's okay with that.
Whoa, they're about to go fight big scary things inside of
Well,
a
the
big
only-
scary place.
The only problem with me in my head with that is not that, I don't want to play Fallout, it's that means that it's 2 weeks before I get to play this again.
Wow, I guess my game isn't good enough for you. Oh,
When we only play once a week,
it's a lot. Playing multiple times a week for a DM would be rough.
I mean, technically we already play multiple times a week, just one of those isn't streamed.
Yes, because Dominic is an idiot who overstrains himself and DMs way too many different
This
games
is
at once.
true.
Oh, true, right, and he also has the one on Monday, and I think he's playing in one on some other day.
Mm.
I'm not playing any. I DM on Mondays, Saturdays,
thought you
and
were in,
Wednesdays.
It's like a sci-fi
Bruh.
thing.
No, that's been indefinitely put on ice, which is
Oh.
it's how it happens.
I didn't hear
Here's the
about
thing
that.
too, and Dominic playing my Fallout game is the only chance Dominic actually has to play as a player in D&D, which being a DM for so long and DMing so many times in a row can, you
No,
get
it
used to
hurts me.
You're
I was in a really bad place the other
Bro.
weeks. And it's what's up?
Is there a journal entry for Quipper Row?
Yes, there is. I'm just making sure it's available to you now. Also, did you ever check the Marrow? I just wanted to make sure.
Oh,
'Cause I don't
no,
have-
it didn't
Oh.
pop up.
All right. Well, I think that we're at a good stopping point then on our way off to the blighted
we-
place.
Indeed.
learned a lot about what's going on. We made some connections. We figured out our next course of action.
For
I think
for Coon, it's depression.
Well,
All
and we've
around me are
also learned that
familiar
I think I can
faces.
confidently say that we absolutely have a Hinselitis situation here. That
Absolutely. What?
Also,
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
Yeah.
Mm.
What?
Could just witnesses
Well-
witness everything in full. He can 100% say Hinselitis.
We will go ahead and end it off then there, and we'll see you the week after next for Planes and Quests again, continuing the
hope
Ridiculous
you're-
7 story.
I hope you
Next
guys
week-
are ready to join a cracked out scientist drop
Bomb ball.
shotting
She's so
sniper,
cracked out.
a cracked out scientist, no, a cracked out veterinarian, a drop shotting sniper,
right.
and a ball that likes to blow things up.
Yeah, you guys should watch the Fallout series. Like, unironically, it's a lot of fun.
He is
Regardless.
painting a very inaccurate picture of Azalea. She is not.
Dude,
cracked
you
out.
Bye,
brought so
everyone.
much psycho into your
He-
face.
Everyone say
he's-
bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
for
He's
Bye,
on
combat.
everybody.
Bye.
Love you. Woo!
Bye.
He's